Good evening out there, man. Bruce Gas without the music tonight. This is something that doesn't happen too often in here. This is going to be strange. This is going to be like kind of like going out into a crowd without your pants on, you know. But regardless of, we're gonna carry on. We got a great night here, man. This is a very very special evening here. This is the anniversary. 42 years, I believe. 1980. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Wembley Stadium, winning the world title in a long overdue match with Alan Minter. And anyway, man, this is getting to be like old times over here, man. I got my brother. My brother stopped in, man. Let's bring him on up here, man. Let's bring him on up here before he takes off on me.
Never.
Salute. George Jakovich, how you doing, my brother?
Good, man. It's a great night. It's Tuesday night, so it's a great night, but it's extra special because, like you set it up, 42 years since Marvelous Marvin Hagler won the middleweight title, and that was not the beginning of his career, but the beginning of him as an elite champion. Just a great fighter. Mm-hmm. And this is the anniversary on Tuesday night fights.
Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is. Before we get into the great Marvin Hagler, why don't we talk a little bit about what we saw this weekend, man? You know, let people give a chance to get into the room. Let me get a chance to get a few tokes in me, and you know, I'll tell you, without the music, George, it's weird. You know, a lot of these content creators they go on and they speak, but so something about my DNA. I think I was born from a bass guitar and a Gibson ES15, and I just seem to have to have that beat going on in my head all the time.
Well, you know, it's just going to be our voices. You know, we're going to be the melody and the rhythm tonight. So it's an easy subject, and like you said, bringing up last weekend. Let me start with Shakur Stevenson, who I love. I think it was a horrible look for him not making weight. It's always a bad look for you not making weight. He lost his titles on the scale, which is not a good thing, but he did say all the right things. He was respectful in what he said. All you can do is go on from here. You know, he's moving up to lightweight, which is arguably the best division in the sport. And there's a lot of great fights to make there. So let's make the fights. And it was a busy weekend, Bruce. There was a lot of boxing as usual.
You got it, St. Cruz. And yesterday, there was, man. It was a tremendous week, and you know, I love the heavyweights. The heavyweights fought.
They had a rumble,
and it was an interesting fight. I mean, Joe Joyce. Anybody who's been listening to me, I don't ride with fighters. You'll never see me as a fan for a fighter. I'm a fan of boxing. Whatever happens. But I saw something special in Joe Joyce the first time I saw him. I saw this huge dude with this athletic ability, plodding, slow, if you will, but very effective. And I mean, I was impressed with him this weekend, and I always had him in there in the upper echelon. And I think people are realizing it now. He's considered the third best heavyweight in the world right now.
Look, he knocked out Parker, and no one's been able to do that. And Parker's been in there with some big hitters, Joshua, and I mean he got knocked out. So you have to salute Joyce. I mean, it was a good performance for him.
Awesome performance. Let me shout out who came in here before I neglect him, man, because man is, like I always say, George, there's nothing like having a few of the families come in here and listen to us, and man, I'm so appreciative of it, and I want to shout them out personally if I can, man. Jose Diaz in here, salute to you, man. Teach, my brother, salute, bro. Mr. Pads, man, always showing the love. My brother St. Cruz, man, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, bro. How you doing, man? I hope everything's okay, bro. I hope you're doing well, bro. Mr. Doc, my brother, salute to Mr. Doc out there, man. And Remy, man, I keep in touch.
Remy.
Great brother, man. Shout out to Remy. Slim Reaper, salute my brother. Salute to you, man. Memphis Freestyle 901, salute. All right, man. You know, I hope they roll in, man, because there's nothing like seeing a full house in here on a Tuesday night. And man, without this music, George, I'm going to try to put it on my other player here. See if that can be.
While you do that, I have to admit I did watch. And it was like 2:00 in the morning. I watched the Floyd Mayweather, whatever you want to call it, the exhibition. It was bizarre, first of all, because before I don't know if you probably saw the highlights if you didn't see it live, but some Japanese guy threw flowers at Floyd's feet, like dropped these bouquet of flowers. And I don't know what the intent was, but the monster anyway, he felt bad enough that he apologized to Floyd on his Twitter. So I don't know what was going on there, but Floyd got tagged a few times in the fight by that guy, and then he took him out. And it looks like, I think at some point, in fact, maybe they'll make Mayweather Pacquiao 2 before they make Spence and Crawford. Maybe that exhibition fight happens before we even see Spence and Crawford.
They did have a press conference. They
did
together, and Floyd said, "I'll kick your ass again." And man, hey, I never interfere, man, with his hustle. And Floyd's to the point where, hey, we want to throw a few million in the gas tank. Let me go to Japan. We'll build somebody up, and I'll be back with the bag.
I mean, yeah.
That's the way it is, and I guess every boxer out there would like to do what Floyd's doing right now.
Absolutely, and he's scheduled next for November. He's going to be in Dubai or Saudi Arabia. He's got his next fight exhibition lined up. So, but that was like Bruce. It was like 2:30 in the morning on the East Coast on our time when that Mayweather fight happened. So.
I started watching it. I think the card might have started 11:30, and I saw 3 fights before it, and I saw the ceremony in there that there was a geisha girl with flowers and doing a lot of bowing, and I tried to stay awake for it. But I said,
I don't blame you. I mean, it wasn't a night of excitement. I don't know why I was up.
We just came off the Shakur fight, which was cool, man.
Yeah,
Concessio, I think he had seen his better days. I would have liked to seen Shakur do a little better with him, a little more authoritative here.
It looked like he was going to take him out at one point. I mean, the first half of the fight, but he just, I don't know, he didn't. So
it says device not connected. I got a guest trying to come in, man. Why don't you try coming in again, brother? It says device not connected. Try coming back again, but we got a special guest that's going to come up here and join us, man. In fact, he's in the back now, and unfortunately it says device not connected, so I can't put you on the screen, brother. He left. He'll come back again. We'll try it again. We'll see what happens, man. This is a special guest. This is going to be a lot of fun, man. This is going to be this is one of these pop-up things, man. These great fighters that we run across.
You never know who you're going to get.
You never know who you're going to get. You
had a good guest last week that I missed.
Well, here's one, George. I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, bro.
Am I on?
You're on, brother.
Huh?
This is Terrible Tim Weatherspoon, man. You're on, my brother.
I'm sorry, I'm in the car. Okay. All right. I'm on with my guys. The teamwork here.
What's up, champ?
I went to the gym and I've been training. I'm trying to keep. Hey, how you doing? I went to the gym today. I've been going to the gym. Okay, how you doing?
That's my friend George Jakovic, brother. George, Tim Weatherspoon, the champ.
Okay, George, how you doing?
Hey, it's an honor, Tim. It's an honor to talk to you, champ.
Terrible Tim.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's a pleasure being with good people every day of the year. That helps. That helps you stay here longer on Earth.
Sure does.
Carlos Mendoza, salute, brother. Joe, thanks for coming by, man. Terrible Tim, what's been happening, bro? I hear we're going to show some fights this weekend. I hear that channel of yours.
Yeah, we're going to do some fights. Yeah, the channel's starting to do real good. We collaborating and doing everything. Is your screen frozen? Is your
mine's okay,
screen
bro.
frozen?
No, mine. It's not frozen to me.
You might just have a bad
is mine's
connection.
okay?
Yeah. It seems it's good. Jose Diaz, salute, brother.
Okay.
Salute.
Well, okay. Yeah. Well, the YouTube channel is going pretty good. We're trying to, collaborate with a lot of different people. We're trying to get some, like Michael Spinks and several other former champs on the podcast. Just to get things flowing. Boxing needs a kick. Boxing needs a little push. We got these good fights on, but like the heavyweights, the light heavyweights, the middleweights, we just hearing about the small guys. So, we got to give it a big boost. It's getting kind of dry to me now.
Well, champ, how often are you on your YouTube show? How often are you doing that?
Well, Brian, my marketing guy, we do videos all the time. We get like 5 videos, then put them up. Then I go back to his house, and if anything come up, we'll just get together right away. So we pretty much aggressive on the YouTube channel with skills, history about boxing, a lot of my former fights. We're going to do Bone Crusher fight with me.
Ugh.
I fought him twice. The first time I
Mm-hmm.
fought him, I shut him out, almost knocked him
Yep.
out. The
Yep.
second time I had to throw the fight because Don King was only interested in Tyson. He didn't care about me or none of the other boxers. So um, I was supposed to fight Tony Tubbs. Tony Tubbs came up with a shoulder injury, so I thought they was doing something fishy. And I stopped training, and then they called me to fight within like about 2 weeks. So we got together, my team got together, and I said, "Oh man, I'm going down and one and get away from Don, and we're going to sue him." But I had other people with me, helping me make this move. So when I went down the second time with Bone Crusher, I went down myself. I feel bad because Bone Crusher think that he knocked me out, and he didn't. That's the only thing I feel bad about is that Bone Crusher thought he really beat me, and we had a plan. We had a plan to go down and one. I did, and the rest of the team went along with it. And it's a shame that Bone Crusher have to live the rest of his life knowing that I didn't really fight him. Watch the first fight, and you'll see the big difference.
Oh yeah, it was. You could tell you were a completely different fighter in that second fight, and you just explained why.
Hey Tim.
Yeah, my corner knew. My mom and them was crying, but I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them what I was going to do. I didn't tell my mom and my kid's mom. They was crying. They didn't know, and I told them afterwards. And they said, "Boy," she said, "Boy, why didn't you tell me?" But I wasn't ashamed to say, "Oh, he knocked me out." I wouldn't be ashamed. I'm a true champion, and I feel bad that he had to go through that. And then he fought. If you check it out, he fought Tyson after me. So I was going to. The winner of our fight was going to fight Tyson. See, Don King didn't care about nobody but Tyson then. He didn't care about me or Bone Crusher. He didn't care about me or Tony Tubbs. I had to give Tony Tubbs a rematch. And then when Tony Tubbs pulled out, I didn't train. They didn't say the fight was pushed back. They didn't say nothing. And so I just did some things that you're not supposed to do. And so they said, "You got to fight Bone Crusher." And I said, "No, I'm not fighting him." So about 2 weeks went by. I got my lawyers and stuff. So we decided to sue Don, do this and sue Don. I could have got $1 million something out of that fight because he didn't. All he wanted was us out the way so we can get Tyson. If I would have negotiated, we would negotiate. Now I got 600,000 for that fight, but if I would have said $1 million, he would have took it because he just wanted us out the way. He didn't care about me. He wanted Tyson, so he was just trying to get the winner of the fight so they could fight Tyson. And so I was the happiest man in the world. The best thing out of that fight was I lost my teeth. I had a teeth that was loose, and I was going to go get it taken out before the fight. And they said the injection I would get in my mouth might make me sluggish. To numb it.
Mm-hmm.
It might make me sluggish. So he knocked the teeth out. And if you look at the fight, you see me spitting the teeth out after the fight was over. I was leaning up against the rope and I spit the teeth out. I was the most happiest person in the world after that fight. I swear. I was on my way. I wasn't with Don anymore, and now I'm over it. He going his way. I'm going my way. I'm tired of talking about him, and I'm a happy man. I'm with my kids. I'm training people. But I should have been wealthy. A lot of the fights I didn't train hard for because I knew, hey, when I went and fought Bruno, I didn't even know how much money I was getting. Isn't that a shame?
Terrible.
I'm on an airplane, flying to London. Right. So there's a lot of things happen, man. But I'm grateful. A lot of people never make it as far as me and other guys like Tyson. So I'm gonna be strong and just take care of the family and keep doing podcasts with Bruce and other people.
Well, hey, Champ, I gotta ask you the reason.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
The reason why we're
let me say one thing, man. Champ, Mad Chad just came in the room. He wants to say hello to you, bro. He's sitting right next to you.
I'm scared of him. Mad Chad.
Hey, what's happening?
No, let's bring.
We're all scared of Mad Chad.
George, Bruce,
How you doing? How you doing, man?
To see the champ here, honestly, like the champ. Tim, honestly, champ, I wish I was doing as good as you right now, honestly. All your accolades, you could have been an NFL football player. You're one of the baddest motherfuckers to walk the planet. You're like at the Hagler level. And yes, you might have been wealthy, but you got your brain. You got beautiful children. You got beautiful support. I mean, you know what I mean? The money you're not going to take with you to heaven, Tim. And I'll tell you right now, thank you. It's a privilege to have you by tonight.
Right.
Your heart is bigger than the town. Like you're bigger outside the ring than in.
I'm part of the team.
Inside the ring, Tim.
Thank you very much.
Your story's not over. Your story's not over. And you're blessed. You're blessed. And thank you, Tim, for swinging by Bruce's. Honestly, Tim. Thank you, champ.
No, we family. We family. We got to build boxing back up. Even though we've seen these big fights, there's a whole lot of other people not really, getting in the mainstream of the boxing. So we got to get boxing back on the right track. And this is one way, being on podcasts. Where we got to go, Shania? Okay, yeah. I got to get Shania something to eat.
All right.
Come on, you asked me a question.
Well, Tim, I want to ask you, this show, I don't know if you're aware, 42 years ago today, Marvelous Marvin Hagler became middleweight champ of the world. So I wanted to ask you, what your relationship was with Hagler, because I imagine you knew him.
I met him a couple of times. The first time I actually seen him, I was an amateur. And there's a stadium called the Spectrum right next to where the Philadelphia Eagles play. And we went to go see him fight. He fought Marvin Hagler fought yeah, that was in the Spectrum. Right. Where Julius Erving played. But I seen him fight the guy from California. I seen him fight this guy from California there. And that was the first time I seen him fight before. No, I seen him fight Benny Briscoe. Did I see him fight Benny Briscoe?
That was 1978.
I think I seen him fight Benny Briscoe.
1978.
Did you remember that fight? Was that in Philly, right? Wasn't that in Philly?
Yeah. I was at the Spectrum.
Philly.
Yeah. That was at the Spectrum. That's the first time I seen Marvin Hagler, and I was like, whoa, that dude's a bad dude. Benny Briscoe was bad too. Benny Briscoe was a bad guy. But I was in England with Marvin. He was a really nice guy. Him and his Italian wife, they were really nice people. We did events together. We did a couple of events together in the UK. And it's just a privilege, man, to watch these guys on television. And then here I am with these guys. I'm on your podcast because I became heavyweight champion of the world. I never believed I could reach that far, man. And here I am doing podcasts. I met I was the greatest of all times sparring partner. I was Eddie Mustafa, Saad Muhammad. I was getting friends with Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns. You can't beat it.
Oh,
no,
that's good for your health.
Oh my God.
How much is that worth?
Isn't that good?
Tim? You can't put a price
It's
value
worthless.
on
I
your
mean,
shit.
not worthless.
Price value
I was
on
So when
you come in here and share it, bro.
I know it's priceless.
Come on, Bruce Gas. Come on, Bruce.
Well, this was a surprise to me, man.
When Bruce called me, called me and said, Tim, you got to be on the show. Look at me. I'm in the car driving on the podcast. Where we got to go, Shania? Right there? Okay.
Hey,
okay,
Champ,
and then she's going to go get a pizza. Then I'm going to go.
I was just going to ask, what were you getting Shania to eat? What are you guys eating? You're getting pizza.
Oh, she's getting pizza. Yeah, I usually cook when I go home. I cook like chicken and food. So when I did something bad when I started boxing, I was young and I messed around and my kid's mom, my Tim Jr. mom, she left me and everything. And then I understood. I wasn't physically abused, but I did that and that hurt her. Yeah. And she just took. And then there was a lot of people.
Where's the Cash App card?
Cash App card. Hold on. Is it? I don't know. Shania, I'm on the show now. Just look in here. So
this is real life. I
didn't never hit no girl. I didn't ever hit nobody. Yeah, but I never really hit. I never really hit nobody. But I did that. I cheated. I didn't have I didn't have my father. I had a whole bunch of uncles, but they were running the streets. I love them all. Nobody sat down. There's other people outside the family that helped me. Peter Iskin, this Jewish guy, and Tommy Wade. He used to take me to church. My uncles were good guys, but
no Cash App card.
There's no Cash App card.
Oh, he got robbed.
Would you?
Just like Don King robbed him.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Woo. What are you?
No Cash App card.
What?
Only on Tuesday night.
Something happened. Did I drop it? That's right. Oh man. Hold on. There's a black Cash App card. We dropped it. Hold on.
Oh dear.
Step out the car.
I can't believe it. Wait a minute.
It's got to be in the car.
Yeah.
It's got to be in here. Yeah, come on. You get it, Shania? Okay. Okay, hold on. Get it for the $5. All right, we cool now. Okay, guys, I'm ready.
Wait, did you find the card?
So I wasn't a bad. No, we didn't find it. She got $5. Oh man, y'all guys made me lose the Cash App card.
Oh man,
it's okay.
How are you gonna get?
Yeah, so she left. Then I had to raise the kids. I raised the kids by myself for about 4 or 5 years. I learned how to cook. I learned how to be a dad, a real good dad, and all that. So that's Tim Jr. Tim Jr. and sister Ayana and Mecca. So I had to raise them. My mom helped me. I'm telling some real stuff on your show. Yeah. And that's what grew me into being a better man, to taking care of kids. Like Shania's from England. I went all the way over to England. So I was dating this girl named JoJo, and she's Hispanic. She's very beautiful. And so we was together. And so I got a call from England, and they said, hey, you better get over here. I think you might have a sibling. And I said, what? So my family got the money together. They flew me over to England, London, and then I took a DNA test, and it was my daughter, the girl that just left out. But before that, this girl JoJo, she's a fitness and nutritionist, and she draw blood. She said, I talked to her. I said, look, I got to go get this girl. It's my daughter. And she said, Tim, I raised 3 people. I respect you, but I can't do this. I was going to move in with her. And she said, and so I respected her. So I flew over there, and I felt really good about making that decision.
There was a tax thing, so they took all the money. There was a tax thing.
Leave me alone, Shania. I'm on the show. Yeah, we split up. We still friends, and I respect her. I respect her. She said, Tim, I can't raise no more kids. She said, I'm happy for you. And so we broke up. If you see her, She's beautiful. and so we keep in touch. And I felt good about making that decision. I went over there, got my daughter, and I felt really good about doing that. Instead of moving in with this young lady and going on with my future and stuff like that, So I made the right decision.
Well,
I
Champ,
feel
I
good.
think your show is going to be a success. I can tell you that just because of who you are. But also, I just asked you a question. I asked you what you guys were getting to eat. In 5 minutes, you told us like half your life story, and you're just open with it. You have no problems being open with your life, and that's what your show needs, just your honesty and your personality, and it's going to be great.
Well, that's the first time I mentioned that on any kind of podcast or television. So this is the first time in my life I opened up and said that, so it's not going to hurt anybody. It made that girl that was really cool of her to still be my friend, and I felt good. I felt like, wow, I did the right thing. I went and got this baby. Yeah. And now I'm raising her and I'm cooking for her. I'm taking care of her, and we still cool with the other girl. And that was cool. Made out pretty good. I made the right decision. I didn't stay here. I went and got my baby. Bruce, she driving me crazy though. Yeah. And she got four other sisters. That's her right there. She jumping out the car. She's jumping out the car. She don't want to get. She don't want to look.
Your son Junior. Like I was listening to him talking, and I was, I was just doing some things, and he was on a podcast, and I thought he was you. Like you guys talk so much alike. Like he has the same lingo. Like
when was this?
Articulate. Shout out to
when was this?
To your kids. It was a few nights ago with Skywalker. He was on Skywalker.
I was on the panel with him.
Oh right. Oh, Tim Jr. and then it's Tim the Third, my grandson.
Yep.
Thank you.
He's representing big time.
He's a good kid. I never had to. Let me tell you something. I never had to put my hands on him. Only he was 8 months old. And I hit him. I spanked him on his leg because he wouldn't go to sleep. But it was like a little tiny little, and he started crying. Right? He was 8 months old. He wasn't even one yet, and he wouldn't go to sleep. So I did a little tap on his leg. He started crying. I felt bad, but I never put my hands on him because he was disciplined. He was a nice kid. I never had to hit him. I hollered at him maybe once. I swear, I'm not lying to you. I never had
hit my oldest one, but I hit my youngest. I hit Simon.
Oh, you hit the youngest, huh? I'm almost home, guys. I'm almost home.
I give him a good fucking.
You hit him.
Good old slap. He's probably like 12 months old, probably 11 months. Fucking just being a fucking asshole. I think he hit me first. I said, "Don't do it again," and he hit me. And then I give him a good little fucking Sugar Ray Leonard jab. He never hit me again.
I'm gonna be sitting down. Y'all guys can see me pretty good.
Yeah, we see you.
Could you see me good?
Yes.
All right, you got like 2 minutes, and I'm gonna be sitting down in the house.
The whole world can see you, Tim. Honestly,
we got like 2 minutes. I'm gonna be sitting down.
The cover of Sports Illustrated. Terrible Tim Witherspoon.
The champ.
How dare they get our practice spot?
Sports Illustrated.
Hey Tim,
you got him on the channel tonight.
Tim, I haven't said it yet, bro. But thanks a lot for that fucking autograph picture you sent me, man. I got that over my shoulder, bro.
Beautiful,
man.
I'm almost in the house. Hold on.
Personally, oh yeah, okay, bro. We're hanging out here, loving it. Let me shout out anybody else who came in here, man. My brother Carl Hunter Hanson came in.
We got the bag.
From Australia over here. Andy Charles in the building.
There was a tax thing. They upped the taxes, so the taxes were like $1.25.
Salute, man.
Okay.
Austin. What about me, man? Carlos Picosa. We got an unexpected guest in the.
Where's the bag?
Weatherspoon over here, man. He's doing a little transformation, kind
Terrible
of like
Tim.
with the cigarette outside. Tim's got going from outside to inside, man. We're gonna talk a little bit about Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the Philadelphia fights, man.
Yeah.
You know, Tim's been there, bro. Tim's been there.
I'm almost in the house. Wait a minute.
This is real life, Bruce. This is real life. We're following the champ's journey from getting food to getting home.
That's right. I just left the gym. All right, here we go. I'm almost in the house.
Real fucking shit, Jakovic.
Reality
George is
TV.
loving it. George is loving this. Tuesday night fights, you never know what you're
awesome.
going to get. Bruce, are we going to be able to watch a Hagler fight?
Yeah, we're gonna put Hagler on for sure, bro. I was knocked over when Tim said he'd come on tonight, bro. I'm once again I'm tongue-tied. I'm like a little kid. I'm glad you and George are here because I'd be like a babbling moron over here. I got the fucking 2-time heavyweight champ, WBA, WBC. I mean, bro.
Bruce Gas. Bruce. Does Tim sell merchandise?
Hey, what's the matter?
Does he have like a website where fans can go and get his merchandise and you can drop it in the link? You know, any Tim media. You know what I mean? Because this guy needs his own platform to fucking go live. This is real life shit with Tim Weatherspoon. We got terrible fucking Tim. This is terrible Tim Weatherspoon. This is a fucking bad motherfucker.
One of the baddest, bro. One of the baddest, man.
This is the best.
He educated Larry Holmes one night when the kid only had fucking 14 fights, and he went up against the baddest heavyweight in the world, and fucking 9 out of 10 people and at the fucking ringside thought he won the fight.
This is amazing.
That defense, the defense.
Listen, all that is great, but this is real life. This having him in the car like that, losing his card and getting pizza and going home.
My brother Blood boxing. Hey, Blood, you want to come on up here, bro?
Oh man, terrible Tim.
Terrible Tim's coming back, man. You know, just you never know who's going to stop into Bruce Gass's, man. You know, Tim needed to smoke a little bit. I said, hey, why don't you stick around? We'll talk to the boys out here. And he says, fuck yeah, why not? And I think he's going to come back in. He just left his car. He just left his car. He's going in the house. I'll drop the link in the chat, Blood. Hang on a sec, man.
Yeah, he's getting the easy chair. Tim's going to the easy chair.
Yep, he's going to be sitting back. And we can talk about some fucking...
Sitting back. By the belt. We'll be able to see the belt behind him, right? We'll be able to see that belt.
Yeah. The WBC, the WBA.
It's very cool that he's so open.
I want to get him
with his life.
Shirt. I want to get a shirt so open. Open,
you know, this is for Blood boxing out there, my friends. Well, you know, I met him about I guess about 7 months ago, and you know, it's just like it's not two ships passing in the night. We clicked real well, and you know, I could just tell he's like a child. He loves boxing, and he's got the same attitude that we all have around here, man. He likes current boxing. He likes old boxing. He likes new boxing, and hey. I'm so fortunate that he stopped in here tonight, man. And I hope he comes back, comes on again. He said he would. I know you know how it is, man. You got to get in the house, get the door unlocked, get that pizza spread out.
Hey, he's got to eat. You know, the champ's got to eat. He deserves to have a good dinner. He just came from the gym. You know, he's getting food for his daughter.
Hey, here's my brother Blood boxing. Salute, Blood.
Oh, Blood.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? Good to be with you all again, man. Chad, just saw you. Just saw Bruce. Good to see you again, George.
Good to see you, Blood.
Sir.
So, Blood, what do you think, bro? We're going to have terrible Tim Weatherspoon come back with us. What an interesting guy he is, man.
Yeah, man. Former heavyweight champion of the world, man. I watched him growing up. You know, we could have a great discussion with him, man. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, sir. This is going to be fun, bro.
And you know, Blood, we asked him because today's the 42nd. It's 42 years ago today. Marvelous Marvin Hagler became champ, and we were asking Tim about his relationship because he knew Hagler, And Tim's from Philly, so Hagler, he made his bones in Philly. That's where he really, showed his first signs of greatness when he did his tour of Philly and fought all those Philly fighters.
Absolutely. Yep. From
and what's the
Eugene Cyclone Hart, Willie the Worm Monroe, Betty Briscoe. He beat a lot of those guys from out of Bobby Watts.
Yep.
Even when he trained, he trained in a gym with Rossman. I mean, he'll tell you about all those gyms with Stephen Robinson. I mean, this is the last of a dying breed, and he's got so much to offer. Offer his training and the skills that he has. The Philly shell, bro. He forgot about the Philly shell 20 years ago. He's got to start remembering about that. He like I said, he's forgotten more about that than most fighters know. He offensive, defensive, cool fucking, and a good guy too, man. Like I said, he sent me the autograph picture, and he's just been very gracious coming on the show. This is his third time on here, bro, and he invited me on. That's how I talked to him today. He's doing recaps of fights, kind of like we're doing. And he's doing Ernie Shavers and Muhammad Ali on Saturday.
I saw that because I'm subscribed to him, so I didn't get a chance. I will be with him on that day.
Yeah.
He asked me to come on there and chop it up with him. I'm like, shit, yeah, man. First guest, because he's bringing boxers up there and different people in the fight game, and called me up and asked me to be the first one. I said, shit, yeah, man.
Of course you did.
Come on.
He fought some dangerous fighters, man. He fought Ronaldo Snipes, James Stills, Greg Page, Larry Holmes, Pinklin Thomas, James Bone Crusher Smith, Tony Tubbs, Frank Bruno. The list just goes on and on. The guy fought for several decades. He fought throughout the 80s. He started, I believe, in 1980. Was it 1980 or 79, Bruce? He started.
79.
It might have been 79.
Yeah,
so he
79.
started around 79, and he went all the way until, several, 2000 something?
2003. 2003 was his last fight. That's
so he went all the way to
crazy.
2003. So this guy was around for quite some time, and we remember him the whole time he was in the heavyweight division because, he started out with guys like Alonzo Ratliff and them guys way back in the day and ended it out with guys like Lou Savarese, just to show you how long this guy's been around.
Mm-hmm. Well, he was on the undercard of Don King cards for a long time. And Don King got him that fight with Tyson, and that was it. Everybody knew he was the real deal after that, man. Fighting Bone Crusher, and I mean, all those guys. One thing about them, they all fought each other. It's not like today. I mean, you didn't have to go fighting each other. They just did.
Besides all the stuff with Don King
from the 80s. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, he did fight everyone, but I think one of the saddest things is that after he lost his title to Bone Crusher, he never got another title shot. He fought all those years, but he never got another title shot after that. And it's too bad, especially with the circumstances of how he lost his title, which he's talked about. It's too bad he never got another shot.
Well, when he lost that title around 86 to Bone Crusher Smith, right? And then throughout that time, Mike Tyson started his dominance throughout that time period, all the way until around the year of 1990. So somewhere in between 86 and 1990, for some reason, he didn't get a shot at Mike Tyson. That was the champion during that time. He fought guys like,
the champ's in the building.
Oh, okay. Champ's here.
Hey, champ, this is my brother, Blood Boxing. One of the best.
Hey, man, nice to talk to you. Nice to talk to you, Tim. Yes, sir. Great to see you, champ.
Great to see you. Great to be here. Great to be here.
Yes, sir. I know your career well, man. I've been watching you since I was a kid. I could remember you way back in the day, man. Even before you fought Larry Holmes. I think you had a fight with Ronaldo Snipes before you fought Holmes. And you also fought Alonzo Ratliff. Ratliff was the guy who was around back in the early days, who was a smaller heavyweight. You fought him. And then you got that.
No, he was a cruiserweight. He was cruiserweight champ. Then he moved up.
Okay, so he was around that era, that cruiserweight limit. You're right about that, yes, sir. And so you had those fights, but you fought so many great fighters. You fought everybody that was in the environment at that time. You fought a lot of guys who are known for their jab. You fought Carl the Truth Williams. You fought what's his name?
He had my eyes swollen.
Pinklin Thomas, Greg Page, James Tillis, Larry Holmes, all of these. Who was the best fighter technically that you fought? Tony Tubbs too. In fact, I believe you took Tony Tubbs from him, right? You took the from Tony Tubbs. Yeah. So you fought all these skilled fighters from the 1980s, the kind of fighters that we don't see anymore in this environment, who had good footwork, fought off a nice jab. Who's the most technical fighter you ever fought? Because you damn near fought them all.
Tony
Tubbs?
Tony was the most slick. He was slick. He was quick. His punch wasn't as hard. Let me hold on. Let me see. The one that had the most talent, slipping, was hard to hit. Was Tony. Call the Truth just had a good hard jab. He swollen my eye, but that's all. He didn't have no defense. He depended on the jab and the right hand. But I believe that Tony Tubbs was the one that had the movement. He get out of the way of punches. He threw good combinations, but he just wasn't strong. He wasn't as strong as the rest of them.
He didn't always come in shape, Tim, because you remember Tony Tubbs actually fought Riddick Bowe one time, and I thought he won that fight with Riddick Bowe. I looked at it several times. I thought he won, and you actually are the guy who took a guy with momentum. You took the O from him, right? So that's a hard thing to do, to take the O from a fighter with momentum coming up and things like that. So, man, much shout out for that too, and just your fights with Pinklin Thomas. You fought so many fighters.
Everybody.
You know what we were talking about right before you came on here, though? We was wondering, like, you never had got another title shot after the Bone Crusher Smith fight, right? And during that time period, it was during that 4-year period in between 86 and 1990. I think you had some problems with Don King at the time. I think he might.
No, we always had problems with him.
Okay, but you were really, because for some reason you wasn't getting the shot at Mike Tyson. Did you want that Tyson fight? Because between 86 and 90, that's who had the belt until February of 90 when Buster Douglas beat him.
Okay, well, during that period, that's when I was talking about the Bone Crusher. Me and Bone Crusher and Tony Tubbs and all of us. Don King was just lining all us guys up for Bone Crusher. For Tyson. He forgot about everybody else and started using us as pawns. So, and we wasn't getting paid properly and wasn't getting represented properly at that time. So every time I fought, mentally, I was like, I wonder how much money I'm gonna get. I wonder this and that. We trained. Sometimes we trained. We didn't want to train. We trained. That affected us. I do believe if I was training like Evander Holyfield and was tight like Tyson, I would still. I would have been undefeated. It's just that mentally you get messed up, man. How I'm gonna take care of this bill? How I'm gonna take care of this family? How I'm being mistreated? And so mentally, a lot of the boxers were being attacked. When Don King, look, I didn't know how much money I was getting when I was on the airplane going to London. I didn't know, most of the time I didn't know how much money I was getting. Now, how am I going to fight, champ? How am I fight? I fought anyway. I did the best I could. Imagine if I had a clear head, which I did have before we went with Don. Real quick, and I'm going to let you talk. The manager and promoter I had was a guy by the name of Mark Stewart in the beginning. And his partner name was Larry Levin, Dr. Snow. They got busted selling cocaine. If you look it up, it's in the archives. Dr. Snow, Larry Levin, he was a dentist, and we was building this up. Me and my brother, who was undefeated. My brother was 13-0 with 13 straight knockouts. I hated to spar him. I was undefeated, and then they got busted, and that's how we wound up with Don King. So I believe if we would have had that momentum to keep going, I think I would have kept on winning, had some big fights, and made a bigger name. So that's what happened to us. Our manager got caught selling drugs. And I was wondering why we went into the office. Everybody was like sniffing all the series. There was like, everybody was doing this. I was wondering why they was doing that. And then we found out we got sold to Don King. That's when everything went downhill. But we won the title and everything. but mentally we wasn't getting paid. It was me, Bernard Hopkins' uncle, Artie McLeod was his name. He was a bad dude. He used to spar Marvin Hagler. He had gray eyes. Bernard Hopkins' uncle Artie McLeod told me about Bernard before he got out of jail.
Right.
Yep. And he was even in jail. Artie McLeod was in jail for like 5 years. So, you know, I was around a lot of great things, man. If I wasn't mistreated, I do believe I would have accomplished a lot more than what I've done. But I appreciate I'm here on the podcast with y'all beautiful guys, you know, talking about boxing. And so that's the way it is now. Don't cry about spilled milk. Let's keep on going forward, right?
Well, it says a lot about you that you're not bitter after all that's happened. It says a lot about your character that you're not bitter.
I was until I matured. And I matured and said, you know what? I got children, I got family. I'm not going to mess them up by being mad all the time, angry. Why is someone that's going to mess their life up? So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and forget about it. You know, if somebody asks me about Don, I'll say it, but I'm tired of it. We could talk about it, guys. But when I don't go forward and when I go with my daughter, with my granddaughter, my kids, I'm happy. But when you talk about Don and stuff, it just bring back stuff from the past. He's got to live with the rest of his life with all that. I don't.
Facts, brother. Facts. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna go on a quick track here. What did you think of the heavyweights on Saturday? What did you think of Joe Joyce beating Curtis Parker? You think Joe Joyce is the real thing or what?
Curtis Parker, the former middleweight.
I'm sorry, man.
You got Philly on your mind. You got Philly on your mind, bro.
I go back to the day anyway. But the Parker, you know who I'm talking about, man. What do you think of Joe Joyce, bro?
I didn't get a chance to see the fight because I was running around. That was a fight that I'd seen him on television before. I never met him in England. The last time I seen Joe Joyce, I thought he was kind of slow and lackadaisical. I would love to see that fight. I was trying to find the fight a couple of days ago. I was trying to find it so I could check it out to see how he progressed. He's big and he's strong. He was slow the last time and like sluggish, like with his punches and his movement. I'm surprised that the other guy, Parker, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised because he's pretty strong. Joyce is strong. He got everybody behind him in England, but his skills are not there. His skills he's okay, but he's going to need somebody. The last time I seen him, he didn't look like a polished champion that's ready for the championship shot. He didn't look like that to me. Now, y'all guys tell me something different. The last time I seen him, I would say he's going to need some help. He big and he's strong, but the way he throw his punches and move, to me, was more amateurish. Now, he might have changed. It's kind of like Bruno. But Bruno, huh?
No, his skill set is the same as it was when you last saw him. The skill set is the same, but people are having a lot of problems with him because he's kind of overwhelming his opponents. He's walking forward. Yes, he's still got slow movement in his hands. His feet are pretty fast because he's a big athletic guy. He can do flips and all kind of stuff. And, he moves in and out of the pocket good, but he has really slow hands. And he was able to just overwhelm Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker was beating him at the jab sometimes, but the problem was that he wasn't hurting him with the jab. And I was wondering because I think guys like Joe Joyce would have had a big problem with fighters from the 80s like yourself, Tony Tubbs, guys who knew how to move and box. I just don't think he would have had a place as a 37-year-old man in the 1980s scene. That's my opinion on it. But I still think he's, one of the guys that's hard to deal with in this era because the fighters from today, they don't move like the fighters from the 1980s. They just don't.
Okay.
I don't know if
that makes sense.
Spending as much time in the gym or what the case is, but they don't move like you guys do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just seen him, and I was just like, this was like a month ago. Then before that, I seen him, and I was like, well, he big and strong, but he looked like he's gonna have to learn some more stuff when he get up there. But I guess there's nobody in front of him. But I'm surprised Parker. You know, I really haven't got a good look at him also, but he's strong. He's strong.
Well, I think it says more about the weaknesses in the heavyweight division than it does about Parker. Because I'm looking at Parker as the third best heavyweight out there, and I think he could get lucky with either Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk. Hey man, it's a wide open division. Parker, he hasn't failed yet. He hasn't even gotten really hurt. Never mind stopped or put down. So I want to see what he can do. I think he could take one of these alphabet titles.
He's pretty strong.
Yes, sir. Hey Tim, let me ask you a question, man. Why is it that today's heavyweight division, there's guys that are dominating in between the ages of 30 and 40? These guys are older guys, the guys who are at the top. Back in the day, it was the 20s, the guys in their 20s that was running the division. Why is it that all these old guys are in here? Because even Joe Joyce, he's like 37. Tyson Fury's getting towards his mid-30s. Then you got older guys that are still in their environment. Like even Usyk is like 35. What's his name? Lucas Brown and these guys are still around, 40 years old and stuff. What's going on? Why is there so many old guys in the environment now? The young guys don't fight no more? You're a trainer and all that. What's going on? They're not coming to the gym no more? What's going on here? Other sports are taking them. What's up?
I don't know. I guess it's like it's changing. There used to be a lot of great trainers that'll get you there faster. You know, you 20 something years old, you 21, you getting a title shot at 25 and 26. And those trainers will get you there. Maybe it's taking a little longer for some of these boxers, or maybe they're starting late. Like Joyce started late, and a couple other boxers they're starting late. But a trainer with good skills could get you there faster. You know, my trainer got me there after 2 years. I'm fighting Larry Holmes. I only had 7 amateur fights. I started in 79, and here I started in 79. I'm fighting Larry Holmes in 83. I started at the end of 79. At the end of 79, I only had 7 amateur fights. Then I had a trainer that wasn't good, but then I switched to Slim Robinson. I'm fighting Larry Holmes at only 14 fights. But nowadays, you don't see the the George Bentons and the Slim Robinsons.
I say it all the time. Oh man, I say this all the time. Georgie Benton and guys like that, man. Eddie Futch.
Yeah,
Eddie Futch.
Even Archie Moore at one time was in the environment. There was some great trainers.
Yeah, Archie was there.
Back in the day. Yep. Emil Griffin was another one too. He'll train people and stuff like that. Those were some really good trainers that had fighting experience. But the exception to the rule seems to be like an Anthony Joshua. He got a title shot early, but you got one early without an Olympic gold medal. Anthony Joshua was coming off of an Olympic gold medal. Did the 1980 Olympics hurt you, man? The fact was you one of those guys who was kind of looking or that's right, you turned pro in 79. Why did you not want to go to the 80 Olympics? Let me put it there. Did you ever think about that?
Okay, real quick. Well, the thing is, I did wanted to go to the Olympics. But this would happen. I was doing really well as an amateur, and Larry Holmes had contacted some people because he heard about me. He wanted me to hire me as a sparring partner. He heard I was really good, adorable, I was smart. And this is when I found out about the trainers. So, I wanted to go to the Olympics. I wanted to go to the Olympics and fight like that. But my trainer never told me that Larry Holmes people contacted him and wanted me to be his sparring partner, wanted to hire me. And so what happened was, let me remember this. What happened was this guy came to me in Philly and said, Tim, why didn't you, I was sparring with Matthew Saad Muhammad. And, and so this guy said, Tim, why don't you take that job that Larry Holmes offered you? And I said, what you talking about? He said, well, they called your trainer and gave him the whole plan. They wanted you to come up there and spar with us, going to give you like 1,000, 1,500. And I said, what? He never told me. So I left my trainer I was mad. I left him and I went to spar with Matthew Saad Muhammad. And that's when I realized about trainers. I knew I didn't have a really good trainer because I was around other trainers. So he tried to keep me in one space so I won't learn about boxing. So he kept me from going with Larry Holmes because he knew it was going to be other trainers there, and I would figure that he wasn't a good trainer. So that's what happened. So I left him, and then I become champ. I got a belt. I went back to his gym to help him out. He wouldn't let me in his gym. This old guy named Clarence Booker, he passed away. But if I was with him, I would have never made it that far. So I went with Slim Robinson eventually, who had Mike Rossman, the Jewish bomber, a lot of other people. He was really slick. He fought a lot of good people. So I started learning at a young age about how boxing really was. So my trainer Clarence Booker, never told me. He tried to keep me away from them. But when I found out, I left. And that's when I started progressing and doing a lot better.
Well, it's a good thing
he passed away
on the 80 Olympics anyways, because we weren't in the 80 Olympics. So I guess it didn't really matter anyways. You turned pro 79 right before then.
Oh, right.
You did your thing. Yes, sir.
Did Jimmy Carter boycott it, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we
did Jimmy Carter boycott it, right?
Sent Ali, he boycotted it, and they sent Ali out there to politic for him. He sent Ali to politic for him and all that kind of stuff. And at that time, Ali wasn't as good with his speech and things like that. He was starting to slur with the words a little bit by 1980. You was around him, so So, but when I was sparring with him up in Deer Lake before he fought Larry Holmes, we noticed my trainer was smart. We noticed that something was wrong with him, but we couldn't figure it out. Something was unusual about the greatest of all times. When we would spar on him, he just wasn't strong. He wasn't sharp, and he never progressed. So my trainer was smart. He's like a detective too. When we in Philly, he knocked guys up. He's a bounty hunter, and he knew how to find stuff. So he said, Tim. One day he called me and said, Tim, something wrong with Ali. And I said, what you mean? I said, something wrong with him. I noticed something about him. And so every day, every week, we started concentrating on that. So right before we left, we broke camp for him to go to Vegas, us to go to Vegas. And before Larry, Slim said, Tim, he's not going to win this fight. He's something wrong with him. And then we found out some stuff. We found out, and I told y'all guys on the show, when I got to Vegas, I was a young boxer. I'm a young boxer, and I got fed up with a lot of stuff. Everybody was partying. I just wanted to go back to Philly. So I went over to the hotel where Ali was, because that's where you talk to the guy to get your flight back home. And so I walked over to the Caesar's Palace, and I went on Ali's floor. Larry Holmes had his own floor. So I went on the floor, and I heard all this screaming. So I said, what the hell? Somebody fighting? So I started walking down the hallway. Larry Holmes had the 14th floor, and I think Ali had the 12th or the 11th. So I heard all this arguing and fighting. So I got up there. It was my trainer, Angelo Dundee. There was about 20 people in the room, and Ali sitting on the bed like a little baby, just sitting there like this. And they was up there arguing about him fighting, whether he should fight or not. And my trainer and Dundee and them, they say, don't let him fight. You shouldn't let him fight. And I was like, wow, Ali might not fight. So I stayed there for like 3 minutes. Huh?
The night before the Holmes fight?
I stayed there the night. Wait a minute. No, that wasn't the night. Wait a minute. I think it was the night. They was all around the bed. They was arguing. So then I went down to Howard Bingham's room to try to get my ticket. I knocked on the door. He was frustrated. Everybody was frustrated. And I said, look, Bingham, I want to go home, man. Can you get my ticket out of here? So he was like, and I was getting a little aggressive. And his wife said, can you leave him alone there? And then Howard Bingham was friends with me. He said, Tim, I get it. So I said, okay, thank you. So then I went back down, and they were still arguing. Dundee, Boudini. There was people in there saying he was all right. And then there was my trainer, Dundee, and I'm just like, I don't think he should fight. He wasn't supposed to fight.
No, he should not have been in the ring at that time.
I went over to the Dunes Hotel, told everybody, man, Ali might not fight. They was over there fighting and arguing. And then I told some of the sparring partners, I said, yo, the fight might not go off. But the fight did go off. And when the bell rung, the first bell, you know he wasn't going to win. Because we already knew.
He was way past.
He was sick.
I'm going to stop asking questions
Oh.
because there's some people in the comments, Bruce, that are asking questions. One person had asked when you held the mitts for Tyson Fury one time. What did you think when you held the mitts for Tyson Fury?
I'm gonna make everything short too. I'm gonna make it. Okay, so he must be from England or Ireland. Where's he from?
I'm not sure where he's from. He was somebody in the comments when they asked that. So I didn't know nothing
let me
about
tell you
that.
this.
So I want to know too.
I have to pay more attention to the comment.
Okay, let me tell you this. I was in real quick. I'm gonna try to make things brief so we can have a lot of comments and talk about it. So I was in. They hired me because I was going to England all the time. So they hired me to be in this show, Lord of the Rings. Katie Taylor was in it. Tyson Fury. A whole lot of boxers was in it. And it was like the reality shows they have here for boxing. So one day I was holding the pads. This what happened. This is what led me to believe that they really not like boxing sound, and I'm not saying intelligent, but they had the nerve to ask me. I was retired for so many years. They asked me to spar with him. And I felt disrespected. I was like, they said, would you go a couple of rounds with Tyson? And I said, what? I said, I'm retired. I said, I'll teach him some stuff. I said, why are you going to ask me to go a couple of rounds with him? He's in shape and all. I said, this is when I knew the intelligence of the group. They might be smart or might be doing this. You just don't ask a retired champion. I wasn't out of shape. They wanted me to spar with him. And I said, that's disrespectful. In my mind, I said, that's disrespectful. And so we became friends after that. But they asked me that right when I was getting ready to hold the pads for him. And then they said, yeah, why don't you give him a couple of rounds? And I told him, I said, look, I'm retired. I said, I ain't been doing nothing. I be training. I said, that's disrespectful. In my mind, I was saying, that's disrespectful. So we became friends. I met his dad. They were really good people. I hung out with the gypsies over there. I think I said it on the show before. But yeah, they tried to get me to spar with him in Ireland.
Oh no, he'll be back. Must have pulled the plug up. We're getting some gems here, man. I'll tell you.
Yes, sir.
They pulled the plug on him. They pulled the plug because he was getting ready to say the Fury was trying to take him to a homosexual fucking gag ball party. Because believe me, these fucking Fury's a coward cunt. Tim Witherspoon would pound his fucking head in. And that's the reality of it. Fury was being nice to him because he knew Tim would rip his fucking head off. He was kissing his fucking ass. And I don't blame Fury for kissing your ass, Tim. But believe me, Tim would rip his fucking head off, and Fury's a fucking fraud.
And what happened? What happened to George? George disappeared too, man.
I don't know. They
dropped big, off, small man. Fucking Joe Joyce would fucking beat that big fucking Fury right up. Joe Joyce would just lumber right at him and beat him the fuck up. Fury doesn't want to talk about Joe Joyce, right? Well, who's going to beat up Joe Fury? Fury's talking about beating up somebody I never even heard about. I think I known him a few years ago. The guy he's fighting. I mean, fucking Max Kellerman. What the fuck's going on with this Fury? Fuck Fury, Tim. Honestly,
no.
Wait
a minute. Wait.
His father's an asshole. His brother's an asshole. His cousin's an asshole. The whole family's an asshole.
No. Wait a minute.
He fooled you.
Wait a minute. Tyson Fury and the gypsies, they were just trying to find they really good people though. I went with them. I hung out with the gypsy people up there in Manchester. They were really down to earth. Made me feel like I was down in Philly, kind of like. And the women, You mess with them, they'll fight you back. But the thing is, it's like a tribal thing. They don't call the police. If they have a problem, they settle it on their own. If you went there, you'll see, and you'll probably say it different. I gave them a lot of respect when I went to the community with all the gypsies. They had everybody respectable. It was cool. I mean, I know you saying those things. You're saying those things.
The gypsies, no, I'm saying about Fury, not the gypsies. I'm saying, there's great culture, great everything about it. They're fucking hardcore, yes. But this Tyson Fury got the silky pajamas. He's hanging out with this Denny Kinahan dude, the Irish dude that's fucking $500 million reward. I mean, he's a good scumbag. He's holding the heavyweight division. Fucking dude. He fucking cheated Wilder. He fucking liar, cheated, dirtbag. Honestly, he's a fucking.
How did he cheat him?
In prison. He ain't even allowed
to
come to the United States.
How did he cheat him? How did he cheat him?
Fucking, I don't know. I don't know how I'm just lying. I don't know why I'm lying.
He's just talking out his ass, Tim. He's talking out his ass, man. That's all he's doing.
Look, I really got to know him and talk to him, and that made up for his reason for asking me to spar. They really got pride. They got pride. They take care. They take care. That was when who did he fight? That was about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. That's around when he fought Steve Cunningham. And then Steve Cunningham dropped him, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Steve Cunningham from Philly.
Yes, sir. We definitely remember that.
When that was around that time.
Him. You know how bad you dropped Fury?
Huh?
Yeah, he was humble.
What did you say?
He might have been humble.
No, we were just agreeing, that Steve Cunningham dropped him. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Steve dropped him, and I felt bad because I was with Tyson a couple of months before the fight, and I held the pads, and he punched real hard. So when I got to America, and Steve was training at the same gym I was going to, the James Schorler Memorial Gym, and I felt bad because I said, hey man, he could punch, and it looked like I was supporting him more than Steve in a way. I was just, hey man, I was over there, he could punch. And then I felt bad. I said, whoa, I shouldn't have told him and said that. He do punch hard, but I said to Steve, Steve, he could really punch, man. You're gonna have to be ready. But Steve came up from cruiserweight to fight him and dropped him with a flash knockdown. We hit him on his chin, right? I don't think Tyson Fury, I don't think he could take the best punch either. Wilder went down. Look, Dylan White went down. Wilder went down. Joshua went down. You name it. They all went down. In our era, not that many people went down. Something wrong with the defense in this era, guys. Something wrong. The skills are not there. I'm telling you. Yeah, all five of them went down. Dylan White, and all of them went down.
You see anybody out there? You see anybody with good defense out there? You see any fighters with good defense?
The old folks left the skills when they passed away. Georgie Benton with the slipping and keeping your hands up, and Archie Moore. They got so good at defense they dropped their hands a lot too. And I made that mistake. I knew that I could block these shots, and I was too comfortable with it when I got in the ring. Sometimes, and and then some of the young people, they get a bad, impression, like why he got his hands low. It's because his hand's supposed to be up there, but he feels like confident and he drops his hand low. But I came out with my hands up a lot too. I know they're supposed to be up there. I know my hand's supposed to be up there, not down. So sometimes you get a bad impression. Kids get a bad impression of you because or the wrong message because they see you with your hands down. Your hand's supposed to be up, but you be having them down and relax because they're supposed to be up here. And when the shots come, you put them up. But really, you're supposed to come out there with them like this, with your hands up, like that.
But see, Mr. Tim, there's a lot of guys.
No,
like
call me Tim. I'm not that old.
Okay, Tim, listen. there's a lot of guys like you who learn from great trainers and you were around in the environment. Why are these young fighters not looking for trainers who learn from guys like Georgie Benton, right? Because the skills are supposed to be passed down. They've been passed down since the color lines of boxing. So why are they not gravitating towards the guys who learned those skills from Georgie Benton, Eddie Futch, and all these great teachers from back in the day, right? Because they trained some of you guys. So why are the fighters not coming to y'all? What's going on? They're going to these inexperienced fighters and guys who've never even been in the ring and stuff like that. New sports medicine guys and all that kind of stuff. What's going on, man?
It's the big money. It's the big money and the people that's in their corners, talking to them, letting them know. And you know who's a really bad example? Deontay Wilder and his skills. Listen, we had skills and like they got people on their team that they getting paid. You think they're gonna say, man, I think you need help. No, they're gonna try to do it themselves. And Deontay Wilder is a shame. And whoever is his manager and his promoter, that's a double shame. They should get somebody in there. I've been sending messages out there. Hey man, I know. Look, Malik Scott, I love the brother. But Deontay Wilder got him, and he knocked his trainer out. He knocked his trainer out. Well, and this other guy, Anthony Joshua, he got an amateur trainer.
Why he can't get a world, Tim?
Huh?
Amateur.
What was that?
Amateur trainer, like if anybody get Tim Witherspoon, it's like they're in their own bubble, Tim. It's all about the money. They don't want to share the pie. Like it's the pie. You're out of the bubble because you're a realist. You're a realist.
I don't have to be in the corner. I don't have to be in the corner. Just let me teach you. I don't have to get up there in the corner with you.
Yeah.
Just let me teach you. Let me show you some stuff. I don't want to get up there in the ring. I don't have to. I'll show you a tight deep.
Let me work up a sweat with you. Hold up pads and show you the dipty the do and the whipty the da. Let me show you what you can do to unlock this fucking matrix here, kid.
Basics. He need basics. Like when a kid go to school and learn his ABCs in first grade, that's what he need. He don't need that fancy stuff right now. And I seen a video of him and Malik Scott, and he's doing all this other stuff. He's not even doing defense. This is what he need. Tight defense. His hands here. Countering with punches hitting his arm, countering off. A good jab. He got to make his jab just as good as his right hand and his defense. That's all he need to do. Bend his knees. Make sure that his jab is strengthened. He keeps somebody off with that jab, that right hand to get in there. Believe me. The right hand to get in there. And all that extra movement that he's doing, I seen him doing it. He don't need to learn that right now. He has a fight in a couple of weeks or a month. He need to learn them basic things, not that fancy stuff. That's natural stuff that you could do after you learn basics. You learn basics, then you can do all that fancy stuff. Once you learn A, B, and C, that F, H, G, the stuff after W, X, Y, Z, you can get that easy once you learn blocking the jab with your right. He can't even do this. Block the jab, defense, slip. He can't do that. And that's all he need. They doing all this other stuff with those little things he's hitting them with. It's a shame. It's a shame, guys.
Recently, Ray Mercer, you remember Ray Mercer, and he said that
that's my man.
He said that Wilder can't fight, and he received a lot of heat from Wilder's fan base for saying that he can't fight. But do you think there was he had something there when he said that, hey, Deontay Wilder needs to learn how to fight? That's all he said. He just said he needs to learn how to fight. And they took it. They got all up in arms. I think that Wilder has like this one-shot mentality because he says it all the time. All I need is one shot. You got to worry about the whole fight. All I need is 1 second. All Ray Mercer did was give him some constructive criticism. And a lot of people are just not. Maybe Wilder's a know-it-all, or maybe they say that he likes yes men. I mean, I'm just bringing this up because that's what's on the boxing environment these days. It seems like nobody could be critical. When you older guys criticize a younger fighter, they like to say that you guys are haters and this and that. I'm just telling you the truth of what they be saying. Their fan bases and stuff.
No, that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me when on our podcast, Bruce, if you remember when me and Bryant we was doing a podcast, Malik Scott got so soft, like, why are you doing this, Tim? I thought we was cool. It's not about that. It's because the lack of intelligence, the lack of experience. Yeah, he can knock people out with the right hand, but other than that, he doesn't know exactly what to do. I did the same thing that Ray did, and they criticized me. You know, and that money is keeping people with evil thoughts. Now, Malik Scott, God bless him. Now, he ain't supposed to say, man, well, I don't think I know that much. I think they should get enough because he got that money coming to him. But the manager and the promoter should put their 2 cents in it. Whoever the manager and the promoter, what's wrong with them? My manager and promoter would have been got rid of my trainer if they knew you back in the day. They get rid of you. Bob Arum, Butch Lewis, Don King, those promoters, you in trouble if you didn't do the right thing. If you got knocked out, they're going to figure what's wrong with him. Or if he not doing this and doing that, they would figure it out. Nowadays, it's about money. They're making more money than we did. They celebrating more. They doing all this stuff. But back in my day, them promoters, if they seen Deontay Wilder hitting that canvas, they're going to find out what was the problem. Anthony Joshua, if they see him getting hit with jabs and almost getting dropped, best believe they're going to check it out. And if they ain't, look who talking. They got Malik talking and Deontay Wilder talking. It should be the promoter and the manager and the confidant, somebody doing all that, you know, the talking, you know, Deontay Wilder don't have this real quick. All they talk about is, Malik Scott, he got love for me. I got love for him. You never hear them talking about skills. Am I right? You never hear them saying,
all you hear them saying, I got love for him and my brother and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hear him talking about skills, right?
Nope. Never heard. Don't be hearing about it much.
But listen, I love them brothers, man. I hope they can find the path before it's all over. I know they got money, but they're gonna leave the legacy in a bad way. You want to leave it in a good way, so you can't take the water. If you take them to the water and they don't drink it, what can you say about it?
Let me ask you something, Tim. Do you believe that Deontay Wilder, with 10 defenses of the WBC title, is Hall of Fame ready right now? Do you think he has had a Hall of Fame career? Because a lot of people debate this on social media. I want to hear it from a guy who was in the heavyweight division and the former heavyweight champion of the world. Is he Hall of Fame?
See, I would say a Hall of Fame, all the Hall of Fame guys had skills, had talent. People didn't really criticize them. They encouraged them. They said good things about them. In order to me to be, so he got all these knockouts. They wouldn't let 3/4 of those guys that he fought get okay to fight me or Ray Mercer or Evander Holyfield. All the guys that he won. I'm not saying that he don't have the right hand to knock guys out. It's just that a lot of the opponents that he fought, they wouldn't allow them to fight me. Now, a Hall of Fame. Is he a Hall of Fame? I don't really see it because the way he fight has to have a lot to do with it too. Well, he throw a good right hand and knock everybody out. That's a hard decision for me to say that should he the Hall of Fame. I think it's borderline because of his skills. Most of the guys that went to Hall of Fame, they knew how to throw good left hooks. They knew how to slip punches. They knew how to box real good, like Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm just saying, a lot of Hall of Fame guys knew how to box. Knew how to. Deontay Wilder just got that right hand, and you see how he keep his hands low like this right here. He don't have them up. That looks really bad. But you asked me that question. Should he be Hall of Fame? I can't answer that. Right. I don't see Hall of Fame, but I see some type of accomplishment. I do believe if you get somebody to come in there and help him, he could wind up being Hall of Fame. His name is Hall of Fame, but his skills not. His skills are not. So I don't know.
So
Bruce,
you think it's possible? You think he's a product of his environment? Basically, he was around during an era, because you mentioned that some of the guys that's on his resume early in his career, they wouldn't even let you at an older age fight these guys, right? Is what you were trying to tell us, right?
Yeah.
So right there, you're pretty much gonna because you're a participant and you actually had to go through a struggle of not getting a fight with some of these guys that Deontay Wilder built his name up off of. They didn't even want to take a risk with an older Tim Witherspoon. So it's going to be harder to impress Tim Witherspoon. So we could totally understand that.
No, the commission, real quick, the commission wouldn't let us fight him. Not
okay.
dumb. The commission.
I don't understand that, because now these heavyweights, the big guy who fought the big Asian guy, that guy's 39. You got Joe Joyce, 37. When you guys were that age, they were denying you guys fights.
Yeah, I know.
Like to me.
Now, they probably wouldn't okay me to fight a guy like Joyce. I'm just saying.
Joyce is 37 right now. So why were they not allowing you guys, the commission were not allowing you guys to fight? Why were they not allowing you guys to fight?
That's a great question. Because I know that some of the guys are when I was fighting, some of the guys, they wouldn't let me fight. They knew that we had a good overhand, right? They knew he was more talented than these guys. They knew he was more talented. But in terms of the guys that they fighting now, they definitely wouldn't have let us fight most of them. They wouldn't have, and we knew some of the names. They had some of the opponents had names, and some of them, they still wouldn't let us fight them. But nowadays, you don't even know who's in front of Deontay Wilder. I don't know who those guys were. That all those 39 guys? How many knockouts he got? 49?
I think it's 40 he knocked out or something. 40 or 41.
Yeah, I don't know none of those guys. I'm not taking nothing from him, but they definitely wouldn't let me or Ray Mercer or Lennox Lewis. They wouldn't let Lennox fight none of them. That's just the way it was. We fought back in our day. We fought each other. We fought in defense, and you've seen a lot more skills. Now you just see guys coming in, opponents coming in, getting knocked right out. Some of the guys, I wouldn't have to train for some of them. Yes, sir.
Tim.
Yes.
Tim, like today, I hate to use the triangle theory because you can break it. You can break that triangle theory down a lot of times. But like you know that Cunningham from Philadelphia, the kid that floored Fury.
Nicest guy in the world.
Like when you were
nicest guy in the world.
Yeah. You were in your day when you were terrible, Tim, going into that Larry Holmes fight. How bad would you beat the fuck out of Cunningham? Would he floor you?
That's my friend. Steve, that's my friend.
For you. I'm letting you know though.
Pick somebody else.
Mano, you in your prime, you in the ring with him.
Pick someone else, Chad. That's his buddy, and he's not fighting anymore, so it makes no sense for him to talk about him now. If that's his buddy.
Pick somebody else.
Otto Wiley, the big Swedish kid, the big Otto Wiley, the guy that bloodied up Fury. You know what I mean? The big Swedish dude that looked regular his last fight, doesn't have no gas tank. He's just a big org, you know? Like I think he'd beat most of these heavyweights today, Tim. Like you're saying, Deontay Wilder, if he could catch you with a couple of them, you know what I mean? Like he'd have to catch you with more than one. Just your skill
He ain't catching me with that right hand.
He ain't gonna catch you.
He's not catching me with that right hand. Listen,
forearm. He's gonna get the forearm.
Listen, if that's all he has is the right hand, the fight is over. Because I'll practice all month blocking right hands. I'll practice all month blocking right hands. And then when the fight to come on, all I got to do is block his right hand. Nothing else is going to hurt me. So all you got to worry about with Dante is his right hand. That's it.
You know you're being nice to your friend because Tim Witherspoon's not a bully. He didn't bully Fury when he was over there with the Gypsies. He doesn't bully the kids down in Philadelphia. Like, I just want to let you know, I watched Cunningham box. I watched Tim box. Tim would absolutely annihilate his friend. That's just my opinion, Tim.
What can't
And
pick
Fury
on
gets
somebody
his
else?
ass dropped. And the big 6'8" dude got his ass dropped by your buddy.
Pick somebody else, buddy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Pick someone else,
He
Chad.
did.
Cut that out.
Well, that's all I'm just getting at. Tim's fighting style will translate to any era. Like Tim's style will go anywhere. It's like, you know, your style
I didn't
is
really have enough time. Listen,
era.
man. Listen, I had a crash course when I came in. I'm glad I had a good trainer who got me ready. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to be on this podcast. Slim Robinson taught me all this slick stuff. Him and Georgie Benton and a lot of other slick trainers. Some of them you don't even know that didn't make it. They were smart. They just never made it. You never heard of them, but they were in Philly, somewhere in New York and Jersey, and it's just I came into the right place at the right time, and with Slim, and I'm just saying, if I didn't go the path with Don King and I was training hard every day and getting in shape like Holyfield, man, I don't know how far I would have went. I wasn't in the shape like Holyfield and Tyson, and I still won those fights. Imagine me in top shape like that. That's what I be thinking all the time. I said, damn, I was in shape. For Larry Holmes, but I could have been in Mike Tyson shape when I fought Larry. He wouldn't have went the whole 12.
What do you think? Don King holding you back? Don King didn't want you in shape?
No, he didn't care. No, he didn't care. He didn't really care. To me, he cared about his money. I do believe he was the best promoter that ever did it because he was here, the way he presented his shows. But in terms of business, he was the worst. But in terms of putting the show on, he was the best that ever done it. But in terms of the money and doing money deals, he was the worst, you know. What was you saying about Don again?
Well, you know, you're telling me that you didn't even know how much you were making when you got on a plane to go to England to fight Frank Bruno. How does a fighter do that, man? You got Spence and Crawford right now, and it seems like they're arguing for the fucking pennies, bro. They're not going to get in that ring until that money's deposited in the bank. How did fighters in your era? Well, were they too trusting? Because I mean, let's face it, man. A lot of you guys.
We had to do it. Don King had all the paperwork. He had the officials. He had the managers. He had a lot of people, roadblocks in front of the boxers where we had to go around to try to get around them. So, you know, he had at that time he had commissioners, he had judges, and everybody was getting paid, but the boxers. So, you know, now. It's hard for people to do that, but I think they do it on a small level. Maybe give a guy some money, go down the street, or meet him a couple of days before the fight and say, "Yo, here's 10 grand. Look out for my man." I think that still goes on, but it was just visible when I was fighting. Everybody knew. You know, Jose Torres. I love him. He put pressure on me one time. I love Jose, and he came to me and tried to force me to do something. I said this before about Suleiman. Suleiman loved me, and we was cool, but he had to do what he had to do. Suleiman liked me. WBC president, he liked me. We hugged each other. But when it came time to do what Don King had to do, he had to do it. I mean, I really don't want to keep talking about his son. It took over. They just got finished taking care of me. The WBC just got finished helping me financially. But I love those guys. And they did something for me just recently, the WBC. And I really appreciate it. And his son is a really lovely guy. But that's what happened back then. You know, what was it? Don King, Duke Durgan, he was pressuring me. They were just taking their time sending guys when I was there. When I didn't want to fight Bone Crusher, they knocked on my door. They wouldn't let me breathe. They kept knocking on the door every couple hours, Tim. And then they leave and come back. Tim. Then when I go downstairs, following me around, Tim, just to make me take that fight with Bone Crusher. And they was just on me. And then I eventually said, okay. And then I got the lawyer. I got this lawyer, and I said, look, make sure there's a 3 knockdown rule. And I said, make sure I get X amount of dollars. And I took the dive. I wasn't going to take the dive for no chump change. You know, I don't think I would have, I probably wouldn't even have fought if it wasn't enough money. But I think we went home with 800,000. They was only giving me what? I think maybe 2 or 3. And that's what I told my lawyer. I said, make sure it's a 3 knockdown rule and make sure I get 800. And Don did it in the blink of his eye because he didn't care. He wanted Tyson. I think I could have got $1 million when I fought Bone Crusher for that fight that I wanted to pull out, because when he went to when I said 800 and they said it real fast, I just went and said, okay, good, that's good. But if I would have said $1 million, he would have gave me the $1 million because they wanted Tyson. He didn't care about me or Bone Crusher. And then I thought about it. I said, I could have got $1 million out of this guy. He wanted me out the way. He wanted Bone Crusher out the way, and he wanted Tyson. That was that. I realized that later. I said, wow, I could have got $1 million if I was really thinking. So we took the dive. I said, 3 knockdown rule. I said, make sure it's that. And I felt bad for Bone Crusher. He keeps saying, nah, man, he didn't even hit me. The best thing that happened in the fight was that he knocked that. I got these, they loose. He knocked his teeth out that was already loose. And I didn't want to go into the fight with the teeth loose. And the dentist and somebody else, they said, look, if you get an injection, that might make you sluggish, and you probably get sluggish for the fight. So they said they don't think you should get. They told me they don't think I should get the teeth pulled out. So I waited, and Bone Crusher knocked it. He hit it, and at the end of the fight, you can see me. If you watch the fight, I spit something out, and you can see something coming out my mouth. And my brother Steve picked the teeth up and gave it to me, and I saved it. But I felt bad for Bone Crusher. Being real serious right now, guys. I felt bad for Bone Crusher. I told him, I said, Bone, I had to do this. He said, nah, I knocked you out. He didn't even hit me. He didn't really hit me hard. I had to act. When I got on the canvas, I had to act, I had to crawl. I didn't want them to, I wanted to get paid. So I crawled on the floor. And I'm gonna tell you this, guy, all my life, I took the dive all my life. And I would never play like that. I just wanted to get away from Don. I was tired of everything. I went to England and got ripped off. Came home with only 70,000 in my pocket. When Bruno went with one, I was tired of it. And then I feel bad for Bone, and I was talking to him in person. I said, Bone, man, look, I had to do that. And I got people to tell you I had to do that. He said, no, I knocked you out. I said, okay, Bone. I'm sorry, but it wasn't like that. I was trying to tell him that, look, man, I said I had to do this. And then right after that.
For that knockout, though. He wanted that knockout, man. He wanted that knockout on his record, right? Bone Crusher. Well,
the thing that he did, but if you watch the first fight, I shut his behind out every round.
Absolutely.
You seen it, right? And I was confident. But on the second fight, I just didn't want to be around Don anymore, and neither was the rest of us, because I was paying them. He wasn't paying them. And he made us come to camp so he could write off the taxes. So if you didn't come to camp, he'd get mad at you. He'd get mad, and then you might not get you won't get no money up front to help you. Then it was just a long story. I'm just, like I said, Tyson said he's over it now. I'm over it. It is history. History means that things that was stated and was said in the past is in the past. But that's what stopped me from being a better boxer than I was by being with him. He was a good, colorful promoter, knew how to sell the fights. But underneath that, he was treating all the boxers bad. But I don't think he treated Michael Dynamite Dokes, God bless the dead. Sorry to say this, but he passed away. But he treated Michael Dokes really good. Michael Dokes was their pride. Yep, he had his own big thing, his own cabin. If he needed money, he would get it. They treated him different. He had his own special time to train. Well, all of us had to train together.
Excuse me.
Hey,
Zoom
let me
and
ask you
Nelson.
something, Tim. Let me ask you something. I have a Ring magazine here. The date on this Ring magazine here is from August of 1986. Okay. At this time, I'm gonna go down the ratings for you. Right, the champion is Michael Spinks. Okay, number 1, Trevor Berbick. Number 2, Larry Holmes. Number 3, Tim Witherspoon. Number 4, Pinklin Thomas. Number 5, Tony Tubbs. Number 6, James Bone Crusher Smith. Number 7, Frank Bruno. Number 8, James Buster Douglas. Number 9, Mike Weaver. And number 10, Carl Williams. Okay, so that right there is a real ranking system, right? The majority of you guys, you have fought, even at this time, several guys on this list, right? Because at the time, they moved Larry Holmes into the number 2. They moved Trevor Berbick up to the number 1. It was during that time period Michael Spinks beat and upset Larry Holmes. You was the number 3 ranked heavyweight at the time. All of you guys, for the most part, the only person on this list that hadn't fought someone else was at that time was James Buster Douglas, and as of 1986. But once again, Berbick, Holmes, Witherspoon, Pinklin Thomas, Tubbs, James Smith, Frank Bruno, James Douglas, Mike Weaver, and Carl Williams, right?
They all had gold. They all had gold.
Man, all these guys fought each other. And if you want to get even further, number 11, David Bay. Number 12, Greg Page. Number 13, Marvis Frazier. Then James Broad, Terrell Biggs, and Mike Tyson at number 16. Number 17, Tony Tucker. Jared Cooney, number 18. Coach Zia, number 19. And Mitch Green, your boy. Tim Witherspoon, and thank you too for all the love you give Mitch Green too. But he was number 20.
Yeah, I'll be talking to him.
That's a stacked heavyweight listing right there.
I got a quick question.
That was beautiful, right?
Tim, I got a quick question. Who was your toughest sparring partner?
Oliver Mccall.
Big
Oliver Mccall and Bert Cooper. Oliver Mccall and Bert Cooper.
Those are some tough guys.
Tough guys.
They whipped my behind into shape. They whipped my behind into shape, and then when I got in shape, the table turned. Don't go into camp and don't camp with those two guys at your sparring partners. If you want to, boy, there's a lot of days I left sore and everything, But then as it came on, I started coming back. I started coming back and started gaining stuff, but Oliver Mccall was rough. He rough, and he knocked out Lennox Lewis with that right hand. He's worthy enough. He's worthy enough. He just didn't have the skills.
Oh yeah,
and he was Tyson. Him, and also my brother Anthony was sparring with him too. Anthony was a puncher. Anthony had a puncher, but he was a light cruiser. He was a cruiserweight. He was sparring with him. It was somebody else. There was a couple of another heavyweight that was sparring with him. Oh God, I ain't getting old, but yeah, they was sparring with Mike. Clinton Barnes. He was my sparring partner. But Oliver Mccall used to argue with. He's from down south. Whitaker. Not Pernell Whitaker. It was a heavyweight named Whitaker. We call him Whitaker. And he was my
Mount Whitaker.
No, Lance Whitaker is another guy.
Lance Goofy.
But this guy name is
Goofy Whitaker.
He dark skinned.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember him?
Yeah, I remember him. That's
from North Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's Lance Whitaker. They called him.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Wait, no, Lance.
Boxing heads. You're talking to some real boxing heads here, Tim. You're talking to some real boxing heads.
Whoa, he's from North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Right?
I think he is, yeah.
Whitaker.
I know he's from down south.
That's my man. Exactly. He dark skinned. He dark skinned, short, and he about 5'11" or like 6 foot. He dark skinned and he tough, right?
No, not Goofy. Goofy was light skinned. Lance Whitaker Goofy was light skinned dude. He was
Oh
a big
no,
old
you talking
guy.
about somebody else. This dude is
Yeah.
dark skinned. Oh, yeah, you talking about somebody else.
Okay.
This kid was from North Carolina, and Whit Laurie was he was assistant trainer. He trained Oliver, he trained Whitaker. Fred Whitaker, I think it's Fred Whitaker was his name.
Okay.
And he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy.
I don't remember him.
Oh no, that wasn't him.
Okay. Because Goofy Whitaker came a little after you. He was this big, tall, light-skinned 6'8" guy back in the day. You might remember him. He was around during the time you was around. His name was Lance Goofy Whitaker. He'll come on all the time. He was.
I remember Lance Whitaker. Yeah, I remember Lance Whitaker.
He was 6'8", right? 6'8".
I remember that name.
Yeah. He was a tall heavyweight. He didn't really make it very far, so I don't.
I remember his name.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever box before? You ever box?
No, man. Unfortunately, man, I didn't grow up around any gyms or anything like that. I played football and basketball.
Okay.
But I was a huge fan because my dad was an amateur fighter that fought out of the Air Force, and he
Where you from? New York? You from New York?
No, I'm actually from the South.
You from New York?
I'm from Florida. I'm from the South. Yes, sir. From
Florida. We was down there. Yeah, I was down there. We was down there when Don King sent me down there. He knew we was trying to sue him, and he thought my lawyer was up in New York. And so right before the Bone Crusher fight, he sent me to Florida. And you know what? He sent me 3 miles from where my lawyer was.
Wow.
So he thought my lawyer was up in New York because he heard we was going to sue him. And he thought my lawyer was in New York. So he sent me down Florida to train, to get me away from him. But he sent me 2 miles, like 3 miles away from him.
Wow.
So I would train and go talk to the lawyer. I would train and we would strategy and what we're going to do after the Bone Crusher fight. And then near the end, I told him I'm going to take it down. I said, look, I ain't going to do this. And he said, okay, well, whatever you do, man, afterwards, we're going to sue him. I said, because I wasn't going to win the fight. They was going to give it to Bone Crusher. I would have to knock Bone Crusher out in order to win that fight. And so I said, no, they ain't going to give it to me. I'm not going in there with no hard puncher like that, not in shape. I wasn't in the best shape. Because when we was in Florida, I was training, but I didn't really think I was going to, I didn't really think the fight was going to really, really go off. He sent us down there, and then when he came back, it was on. I just said, yo, man, I was the happiest guy in the world. I was the happiest guy in the world because I was down there, was going to fight Tony. And then when they switched, I said, I'm not fighting him. I was down there training, was going to fight Tony. And then when they switched to Bone Crusher.
Out Tony?
No.
Which Tony Tucker Tubbs?
Tony Tubbs.
Oh, okay, Tony Tubbs.
I smoked marijuana and got in trouble for the championship fight.
Tell him that story. $25,000 for smoking weed.
They took $25,000 from me.
Rehabbing alkies and junkies, and you had to deal with them. They're busting your balls because you smoked a little bit of weed. Tell him. I'm sorry, bro. Tell him that story, man.
They put me in the order. In the order, they fined me $25,000. And they sent me to a rehab. Yep. I was training for the Tubbs fight. And so it was around Christmas time. My birthday was the 27th of December. But the fight was the 17th of January. Martin Luther King around that time. So just Martin Luther King was born on the 16th. So that's when they had the fight. So these guys was outside the hotel smoking marijuana. And I think they were sparring partners. So I said, yo, and I wasn't thinking. I said, it's my birthday. So I went and I smoked some and I smoked a little bit, maybe like a quarter of it. And I wasn't thinking. And then when I got to the fight, I tested positive and I got in trouble. So they took $25,000 from me. They was going to take the belt from me. But Don King knew that I would have been a better sell to go over to fight Bruno than Tubbs was. So he kept me in the picture. Yeah, he kept me in the picture. Made me go to rehab. I had to get in front of the people and say, "Hey, my name Tim Weatherspoon, two-time every." No, I was heavyweight champion. Yeah, I had to get in front of the people.
12-step.
I had to get in front of the people. I had to get in front of the people and tell them that.
Crazy,
and they was like, whoa. I was on heroin. I was on cocaine.
Yeah.
They said you don't belong in here. They said we'd like for you to sit down with us. Yeah, so I got in front of the people and had to tell them that every time. And they was like, come on, sit down, Tim. Let us do the talking. We was on hard drugs. So I had to go there for like 6 weeks.
That's crazy, fam.
Yeah. And then they had to give Tubbs a
Man, that's crazy.
I had to give Tubbs a rematch. That was in.
That's when Bone Crusher came in.
Well, Tony came up with an injury. And I thought that was kind of crazy. I never asked him about him having a shoulder injury. Did you really do it, or did they pay him? I'm going to shoulder. Then they pulled Bone Crusher in, and I said, no, I'm not fighting him. You know, and then I wasn't going to fight. I did some things that you're not supposed to do when you got to fight, like with women. And then they came back and told me, no, man, you got to fight. And then they put me in New York. We was in New York at the hotel, and we just planned. I said, yo, man, I'm getting away from Don. And I planned it, and everybody knew I was going to go down in 3. And I was the happiest man in the world. I keep saying over and over again, I got away from Don and went on with somebody else. And this is where I'm at today.
You know what's so funny is that you won 12 fights in a row, though, after the 1986 loss. You won 12 fights straight after that. You would seem to be on a momentum, and you didn't lose again, man, for several years, because you lost in 86, but then you lost the split decision loss to Everett Martin. I remember Everett Martin.
Hey, real quick, and I'm gonna let you talk real quick. And you know what? I just saw videos of him, and I figured I just could knock him out, so I didn't really train. Go ahead.
Right.
That fight. But him, Monty Barrett, and a couple other guys got up for me. I saw a picture of Monty. I saw a video of Monty Barrett. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna knock him out." They trained their ass off when they fought me, and Bigfoot did. Monty was in top shape, but when I saw the video, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat him," and that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Right. So I didn't really train hard for Monty.
Even though you didn't train, it was not like, some people thought that you may have won that fight with Bigfoot Martin. So some people actually had you winning that one. And you continued with your momentum for several years. So you pretty much went a 10-year period where you only lost that one fight to Everett Martin. Because from 1986 all the way till 1996, and then you lost one more to Ray Mercer. But for that whole 10 years, you only lost one fight, which was a split decision. And you would think that if you went 10 years with only like one split decision loss, somewhere in between that time, you should have got a championship fight.
But
10 years now. 10 years. Do y'all realize he went 10 years now without any losses, right?
Wow.
Except the split decision controversial loss to Bigfoot Martin. And during that 10 years between 86 and 96, Weatherspoon should have had a shot.
I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you because you know a lot of stuff. You know a lot of stuff, boy. I'm telling you.
You must have been feeling good, bro, when you was going through that 10-year period where you wasn't losing. Where was your confidence at? Even though you weren't getting the fights, where was your confidence at? You went several fights and didn't lose, man, for a 10-year period.
Well, let me say this. When I hooked up with Dennis Rappaport, who was Jerry Cooney's manager, whatever, he was Rappaport and Jones, I was abused. And some fights I got up for, but he did everything. Man, if I would have had him as my manager or in the beginning, I think I would have did really well, really good. he made sure I had everything. And I was abused. Coming off the abuse. And sometimes I didn't change, and sometimes I did. He would have the money there. He would have the hotels ready when we went to camp. He would have the sparring partners there. He paid them. He always called. He came to the gym. He came to the camp sometime. He hit the heavy bag with us. This is what's wrong with some of the promoters today. He came into the gym and made sure the trainers was doing the right thing. And he knew about a little bit about boxing. Now, some people might say something different about him, but I was abused, and I didn't do the 100% like I should have with him. He was behind me 100%. He had a good heavyweight that had skills, and in his mind, he wanted to, to really capitalize on it. But I wanted to do it. And I just was back and forth, and then I apologized to him after my career was over. I had to go back and apologize to him and he was like, Tim, don't worry about it. I said, Dennis, I was abused with Don and in a couple of other situations, I and I didn't really train hard with a lot of the fights. And I know this is exact words. I know you, not exact, but I know that you was behind me 100%. I looked behind you. I said, man, I'm really sorry. I apologize that because I was coming off this abuse from another guy. And if he was there in the beginning, I would have did a whole lot better. So he had everything there: sparring partners, money. He gave me $100,000 bonus. He gave me $40,000 bonus. And I gave it to my daughter's mom, my kid's mom. I let them buy. I said, look, just buy her a brand new card with it. And he did it. He gave me bonuses and to encourage me. And he was behind me. When I look back at it, I was like, man, you know what? I had an opportunity for a second time and I blew it. Because sometimes I didn't train. And then sometimes I did. And he was in his heart. But people were telling me that Dennis Rappaport did something and they're not going to give him a title shot. And I was confused. I was like, I wonder why is this? People keep saying, well, you're not going to get a shot with Dennis Rappaport. And I was like, wow. And I never did. So I didn't ask.
Crazy.
I never
think it's
asked
crazy
him.
you didn't get a title shot because after the 1986 loss, you were shot for quite some time here, man.
We'll
you even picked up like a USPA title too.
We'll get a wicked echo going on.
Echo?
Yeah, we're getting a wicked. Let me see here.
I don't have nothing on.
Is it when I
I'm muting myself?
All right, let me.
Shania. What do your guys hear?
It must be me.
Did you just started hearing
it's
it?
You, Bruce.
Yeah.
Nothing is okay, Shania.
Okay.
That's really cool. A guy like you on the show. What's the brother name? I'm sorry. What's your name?
Retro Boxing.
Retro Boxing.
Or you could call me Blood Boxing. Some people call me Blood Boxing. But...
Okay.
It's not me. Somebody's still echoing. Yeah. I was on mute.
Let me turn my. I think I got a fan on.
No, I think it's. I think you might have put screen open.
Oh shit! Hold on.
I don't think it's the fucking fan, bro.
You don't think it's the fan?
No.
Well, there's no noise.
No noise. No noise.
Yeah, there's no noise here.
Yeah. See, I just muted myself and we got the background. Do you have two screens open on your computer?
I just got my phone.
Just your phone?
Yeah.
Put that on mute for 1 second.
Wait a minute. How am I gonna put it on? Shania.
Right, never mind. Just keep going, man.
How you put this on mute?
No, we're good.
So let him figure it out, because he's gonna have to be doing this a lot more.
Come here.
Figure it out real quick, Tim.
Okay. Snide, they might be listening to noise. How can I put this on mute?
Yes. Not when you talk, it's when any of us talk.
I don't know.
Oh, she don't know.
I don't know. We're going to find a second.
I think it works good if we don't talk. If only he talks, it's not fucked up. So I think if we just shut the fuck up and let Tim talk, I think it'll be good.
Yeah. See, I just put Tim on mute, and you're not echoing, Chad. I'll take Tim off mute here.
Just go ahead and guys, go ahead and talk.
No, you talk, bro.
This says the host has muted you. Okay. Could you can't hear me?
No, you're good.
Oh, you can hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay.
But see, I'm getting that echo, and it's coming through your microphone. Because
it's coming through me?
It's weird. Yeah, it's coming through you. I'm the worst at fucking computers. I'm just gonna shut up.
Wait a minute. Let me move and see. Do you hear it now?
No, when you talk, it's okay.
Yes, when we talk, that we can hear you. We could hear. Okay, maybe it's best for him to go in and come back in.
Come back in. There we go.
That's the best thing. Tim, come right back, man.
Please,
but
brother.
You know
Hello.
Okay, go ahead, man.
I'm not going all by myself. I'm not going by myself, though. Terrible Tim swinging by. How great is this, Blood? It's like he's just an open book. He'll talk about. I mean, this is some great fucking content. Honestly, man. Bruce Gash, shout out to you, bro. Honestly, Trick Nolte for bringing it all together there. At the start of it there.
Shout out to Trick Nolte too.
Shout out to Trick. And shout out to everybody in the chat, Bruce. You know what I mean? Because Bruce is sitting back. He's like a starstruck kid. He ain't a fanboy, but when you're just swinging by, and not to neglect the chat, because Bruce is always so courteous to everybody swinging by. And you know what I mean, Bruce? It's like when you have like 10 by, it's like, what do you do?
Well, Tim's back again. Says device not connected. Tim, try one more time because this happened before. We'll get you right back in here. But you know it, man. I'm like a little kid on Christmas when I get one of my heroes, man. Because I didn't watch fucking Superman and Batman. I watched Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, and now I got Tim Weatherspoon, my friend, coming in here, man. It's fucking great, bro. I am like
Bruce. You didn't realize this. I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize this, or maybe you did. But from 1986 to pretty much 1996, Tim Weatherspoon didn't even lose, man. He had one loss, a split decision loss that he Everett Martin, that some people felt he won that fight, right? So he went 10 years now and didn't lose pretty much. And nobody gave him a shot when the belts were floating around and stuff like that. Really throwing belts in the trash can, all kinds of stuff. Somewhere in the mix, they couldn't give Tim Weatherspoon a shot.
Well, remember,
right for me, bro.
Well, Larry tried him once, right? He never got a chance with Larry.
He did win the WBA belt and the WBC belt on 2 separate occasions.
Prior to 86, though. After 86 is when he went on a 10-year reign, pretty much. He didn't lose, man. He took the loss to Everett Martin on a split decision loss. That was it.
Here we go. I think we got him back again.
The champ, right? Blood, unbelievable, really.
Yeah,
he
went a long time. He went a long time and didn't lose no fights.
One of the most underrated boxers there is in the history of the sport, honestly, for the heavyweights and the time that Tim fought. Honestly, Blood, that's a great point. There he is.
Fought through a few different eras, and he went 10 years from 86 to 96 without taking hardly no losses. He didn't take a loss. He had a split decision loss to Everett Bigfoot Martin, which he probably won that fight, right? I mean, that could have been argued because some people thought he had won that fight against Everett Martin. So basically, he went 10 years and didn't lose. Basically, Tim Weatherspoon went 10 long years and didn't lose a fight, right? That's quite a long time. And if somebody could go 10 years and stay ranked and not lose the fight, they should have got a shot. So there's somebody to blame for that. And at that time, Weatherspoon had a whole bunch of momentum. I remember one time he said, the real deal is the real meal. He wanted to fight with Holyfield. He called Holyfield the real meal, not the real deal.
No, Dennis Rappaport. No, Dennis Rappaport told me to say that. He was in the background. He had the right things to say. He said he the one was doing that. He the one said something about the other guys too. He would rhyme. He would rhyme and say stuff. Dennis was really cool, man.
But
Dennis was really cool, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he the one said that. I'll make him out of there.
Man. It's an honor to be on here with you, Tim. It's an honor, man. You're a great fighter, bro.
Man,
fighter, bro.
Thank you. I thank you. I could accomplish a lot more if things wasn't like they was. You know, it was hard. It was hard. Boy, I wish I was fighting now.
Politics.
Yeah, politics.
You would run through these guys now.
Politics.
They don't have the skill level to deal with you, man. They could. There's no way these
I
guys.
Would be in, if I was in good shape. Listen, if I was in top shape back then, I would accomplish a whole lot more, man. I'm telling you. I wasn't in a lot of shape, but I had skills. I was in okay shape. But my trainer taught me how to just get through, slip, and then get that right shot in, which a lot of boxers don't have today. Maneuver,
that's right. And not only
attack.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Tim.
I'm just saying maneuver, slip, block, slip, bang. You know, they don't do these things. Relax. You got guys bouncing around all the time, bouncing around and not doing the old time religion stuff. That old stuff where you could just relax and bing, bing, boop, 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 bop. You know, defense up and stuff like that. And I think that boxing is going to change because a lot of the knowledge that they was teaching is drifting away. If you notice, you don't see everybody doing the old stuff. You don't see everybody doing the old stuff.
But they should be looking at the right teachers because they had pupils. The guys like Eddie Futch and all of them great trainers, they had pupils like you guys, and you guys should be teaching the art to the next generation, but they don't want to come up off the money and pay y'all and all that stuff. And they going away from the basic skills of boxing, from the traditional way of doing things. The skills was always passed down from generation to generation. Back in the days of Burns and all them, they passed them down to the next set of fighters and things like that. The pupils took over. Archie Moore and all of them. At one time, Archie Moore was a pupil. Then he became a teacher. And now the teachers that are around now are the pupils of guys that were around in that environment, guys like you. Which if they want them skill sets, they will come to guys like you.
It's a fucking sin, bro. It's a fucking sin. You got guys like they want to give those skills away. They want to teach these fucking guys, and they think they're too good for them, or else they think Tim is too good for them. Maybe they think it would be beneath Tim to go down on their level. I don't know, man, but
it has a lot to do with the money. It has a lot to do with the money also.
Too, right, Tim? You ain't gonna be up there being all their buddy. You're gonna tell them the truth and make them go. I mean, you'll be their buddy, but you're gonna make sure they work. That's the thing. You're gonna put them to work, and some of them don't want to work because they have it easy. You know what you needed, Tim? You needed social media and that's an advantage they have now. Back in the day when they shut you guys down, you guys had no platform. Like today, you could have went to social media. I remember.
No, you got a point there.
Don King, and you was back in the hood, right? I remember that documentary. The filming I'm talking about. When you was back in the hood, you was having your issues with Don King. See, if you had social media and all of that back then, you could have brought that to social media back then, right? And
you got a point.
Back then. See, it's just
you got a point.
It was the wrong time. That's all.
You're right. You got a point there, man. I'm not the best, but I did put my mark up there. Even out of shape. I was out of shape. A lot of times I was bruised. There was other fighters that bruised too. I ain't the only one. I spoke up though. And everything. So I really appreciate my career. I appreciate all the people that I met, and I became heavyweight champion of the world. I'm proud of that. I don't have the money that I should have now, but I'm happy. I'm on this show. We talking, And I'm not an addict out on the street, not needing help and stuff like that. I went through the
You're well spoken too.
Hey, I was telling Bruce before that I'm starting to forget stuff. Everybody do though. I'll be 65.
Hey, I told you, man.
It doesn't matter. You're still well spoken. And not
Thank
only
you.
that, you went over to the UK and beat somebody in their backyard too. You went over against you went to the UK. Not everybody's able to raise up and go over to someone else's country and win. And Frank Bruno had a whole lot of momentum going into that fight. He was a monster. You went over there and beat him at home and stopped him too. Stopped him in the 11th round.
Hey, did you?
I'm gonna tell you something. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tell Blood the story about that fight where Ali saved your ass when you were trying to get out of England after that fight.
Real quick. So after the fight, after I knocked him out and we were in the ring, we noticed that the crowd was getting violent. We know they was getting violent, and people were just running around. They were like getting really aggressive. They guards that it was like 20 guards. The average height was 6'4".
Wow.
The tallest was 6'11", 300 something pounds. We had them. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have got out. So after the fight, we noticed the crowd. So we wouldn't have made it out that crowd if it wasn't for those bodyguards.
Was it the same
man, they were big.
that Marvin Hagler had to face? So you basically had that experience over the UK almost, right? With the Marvin Hagler had.
But listen, we got in, just as Bruce was saying. So we got in, we was all congratulating each other in the dressing room. How about this? Our dressing room was right near the door where you come in from all the people that was out there. So they went and got a big battering ram. They had a big something they were trying to break the door in. So Ali was in the dressing room. We was talking, he was congratulating me, saying, we was all talking. Then all of a sudden we heard bam. Bam! So all of the police came. So we ran up there. They were ramming in the big doors. A big door, at least 20 feet high or longer and wide. It was wide. And they were trying to break through it. They were trying to break through the door. So we was trying to brace ourselves to get weapons. We was trying to get stuff to protect ourselves. We was getting ready to run. Ali said no. He said, stop. He said, go back into the dressing room. I didn't go back in the dressing room because I was gonna be out there and rumble with Ali if they had to kill us. But no, I'm serious. I didn't go out. So we was there. Ali said, open up the door. And the security is saying, no, we can't do that, Ali. He said, open the door up. And they was like, no, they was kind of grabbing him. He said, open the door. If you don't, he's gonna open up. He said, open the door. So they said, okay. There's banging it. So they opened the door up. As soon as it opened and they saw his face, they stopped. There was about, I would say there was about 2,000 people out there trying to get in, and they stopped.
Wow.
Everybody.
Oh, Jesus.
And they turned. He said, go home. He said, Bruno lost the fight. He said, you're not going to get, he said stuff like, you're not going to get nothing out of this, trying to break in here. They stopped. All those people,
wow,
they walked away. And that saved our life. He saved our lives. Or somebody could have got killed.
Wow.
Yeah, Ali stopped them people from breaking that thing down. Oh my God. I had my kid's mom there. I didn't bring my kids over, but I had them. There was other young people there. If they would have broke that door down without Muhammad Ali there, somebody would have got killed. I'm telling you, it would have been somebody who could have got hurt. He saved our lives, man. That door was getting ready to break through, and he told them to open it up. They stopped and they stopped. They had weapons, they had sticks, they had stuff. They had stuff they broken up, and he turned them around. I was like, that's the power of somebody that's great, man. I'm telling you.
Icon, global icon.
Oh, yeah. Now you told me that story before. And
can you imagine that?
Yeah, man. I got chills listening to that, man. God no.
Yo, they stopped. They stopped.
Open the door. He didn't say stop. He said open the door.
Open the fucking door.
Yep.
Not close.
No, but the people, when they seen him, they stopped.
Right.
He told them to leave and go.
Wow.
Man, that when you know somebody got some pull, right?
Yes, sir. That's a
That was
major
cool.
pull right there.
So I
Yes, sir.
flew home to America, not even knowing how much money I was getting. So after the fight, he flew everybody home and kept me there. He kept me there for a couple of days because he knew if he would have gave me, if you would have told me what I was getting when the people was there, all my family, and there was a lot of other people that was in the training camp, that I had to pay people. But if he would have told them when I was there, Don King could probably have got beat up or something, or it would have been some stuff. He sent everybody home and kept me and my kid's mom there. And I thought something was fishy. He didn't tell me how much I was getting till I got home. When I got home, then he told me what I got. I didn't know how much I was getting when I flew back to Philly. I flew back to Philly, waiting for them to call me to tell me how much money I got. And then when they told me, I got really mad. I hung the phone up. Then I called Dead King. I called his daughter back. And I said, what's this? And he said, oh, well, talk to my dad. Talk to my dad. And so you don't talk to the dad. You talk to the manager. That's your manager, right? And you don't talk to the promoter. The promoter has nothing to do with you but generating the dollars. The promoter gets the money. He generates the money. He's not supposed to take a dime from you. He's supposed to generate all the money, get paid for the money, He's not supposed to take from you. A manager gets a cut, but a promoter, when you see them promoters, they're not supposed to accept money from a boxer. And I found that out through discovery. When we had to sue him, I found out a promoter is not supposed to take money from a boxer. He's supposed to promote the show and get his money from doing promotion. Go out and get endorsements. Go out and do this. He's not supposed to take anything from the boxer, but that's what Don did. He took money from me and other boxers.
Yeah, that's disgusting, man. You know, I'm sorry, but you know, guys like you had to pave the way for these guys today. And you guys didn't have social media. You guys didn't have the technology to fall back on. So it was just a different era. Unfortunately,
that would have really helped.
Time where you were part of the building and the paving the road for what these guys have now. It's unfortunate. There was many warriors like you who got shorted, man. Several of them from pretty much all of the warriors from that era. Pretty much all of them. All of y'all got shorted. Y'all paved the road for the fighters today. And that's why I get mad at these fighters sometimes when they don't appreciate that, what you guys did for them, or that the fact that you guys paved the road for those guys, man. You guys had to
You've been around. He's been around.
Some of these guys to win. For these guys to win now, you guys have to take the losses, man. And it's sad, man. But it's okay.
And didn't even really realize it.
We're all here, man. What's that? I'm sorry.
I said, and we really, you know, we did realize a certain amount of it, but you know, yeah, we did. We like opened up the door for these guys not to get ripped off, because they was doing it overseas too, but not as bad. They was doing it in other countries, but not as bad. But the main guy that was doing it was in America, and he really did you in. You know, if you ain't got a good lawyer, he mess up, that's your fault. You know, that's your fault. But if you got a good lawyer that's going to represent you and do the right things, you'll get a good deal. That makes you feel good. I didn't feel good after a lot of fights. I knew I was going to get ripped off. How can I get ready for these fights? And I just pulled it off. I'm not the only one, though. You know, I'm not no special. I just one of the guys that stood up and fought against him. You know, I tried to beg him to try to do right. I tried to talk to him and like in the room because I knew he liked me. He liked me because I fought. Now he screamed at Dwight Davison when Dwight Davison lost to, I think who that guy, that English guy he lost to. He really scolded. Dwight Davison was a middleweight from Detroit.
Davison was the middleweight.
Tony Simpson.
Simpson, yeah.
Well, Dwight Davidson lost to the English guy. Oh, Don King tore him up.
Simpson.
He tore him up. You remember that fight when Dwight Davidson lost to that guy?
Yeah, that was Tony Simpson. That was
we was chopping wood, we was running, we was chopping. Go ahead.
No, bro, you go ahead, man. I was just that like tonight, this is the anniversary of Marvin Hagler, and you mentioned Tony Simpson. Marvin Hagler destroyed Tony Simpson at the Worcester Centrum in I think it was 1983. I couldn't go to the fight because I went to the Billy Joel concert a couple of months earlier, and I mean,
Billy Joel.
Music though. It's all right.
No, go ahead. Tell us about Don King with Dwight Davidson with that short fuse of his, bro.
Well, real quick. What happened was he cussed Dwight out. He treated him like a punk. And I was cool with Dwight. Dwight could punch, and so he really treated Dwight bad. He treated Dwight bad, and after the fight, said he should have fight like he was a little punk, didn't fight and stuff like that. And he'll do that in a minute. But if you fight, he'll congratulate you, Don King. But he didn't. If you didn't fight, he really was disappointed in you. So I didn't knew that much about him. Every time he was he was trying to do people wrong in the office, and I found out I used to run in the office and try to defend some of the boxers, and he told me, he said, get out. Because I heard that he was in there with somebody, and I'd be going in there trying to tell him to do, come on, man, why don't you do this for him, Don, do this. And he used to tell me, get out of here, Tim. You don't have nothing to do with this. And I felt like I was one of those guys that was helping the boxers out, even in the camp. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but you helped out a lot of boxers, Tim, because it's because of guys like you. Don King at one time was a major powerhouse in the sport. You had to take some hits so people could know what type of guy Don King is. Now, Don King and Bob Arum are still around, but guess who's the one who's shining? Bob Arum. Even though they're both crummy promoters, Bob Arum is the one that people trust more, and they're still dealing with Bob Arum with ESPN. Why is it that they shut Don King down? No, it's a fact. They shut Don King down.
He was a lawyer.
The networks don't want to deal with him.
But like Tim, like with Hagler, do you think it was a blessing he found the Petronelli brothers to stay with him the whole time? You know what I mean? Do you think like maybe if you would have felt the loyalty that Hagler found? Because I feel that was a big, it's all on the fighter, don't get me wrong. The trainers that you had, God bless them, but you were the fighter. And I think that was such a blessing. Hagler found those brothers, that loved the sport of boxing, that were with him, that would go through a brick wall for him, and they had to deal in the scum of the boxing world. But I found that Hagler had that shield, that cocoon. You know what I mean, Tim? And I think that's important to these.
And the respect. You got the respect too. You got the respect.
Yeah. And he garnished that forever. Everybody, but the loyalty that he had within that camp, you know what I mean? Because I feel like so many fighters had to deal with lawyers and guns and money and different, shysters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Hagler found himself a nice road where he could concentrate on the boxing. And like you said yourself, if you could have only just concentrated on the boxing, not all the shenanigans, what could have been? Yeah,
that's true. That's true. A lot of those boxers had, they had tunnel vision. They could train. They had no problems, and that was their asset, that they could train and didn't think about getting ripped off and all that. It was embarrassing. A lot of times it was embarrassing. You go in there, this guy, you fought your behind off. This guy driving a Rolls Royce. Even I'm just exaggerating. But even though I don't want no Rolls Royce, I'd rather get a BMW or something like that. They was driving around being treated right, and we were being treated really, really bad and stuff. And he took advantage of it. So that, like I said, I'm all right now. I left it alone, and it's a shame. It's a shame that a lot of boxers had to go through that. It really is. Why would he do I'm just saying. I mean, here it is. I'm a black man. He's a black man. He did it to several other black guys. Why would he do it? This would be his opportunity to be the greatest promoter of all times. He could have been the greatest promoter to ever live. His hair, because he was a showman. His hair was like that. He made his hair like that. He talked good. He carried a cigar. He was a showman. But in terms of finances and doing that business stuff, that was really bad. But he was a good showman. He liked us. But when it came to that money, he liked the money more.
Absolutely.
He liked the money.
And let me ask you something, Tim. Coming from out of Philadelphia, right? And we're going back to Marvin Hagler. Today is the day, the 40th year anniversary of him beating Mentor. But let's talk about Philly. The Philly fight scene was real rich with middleweights. They had Bobby Watts, y'all had Willie Monroe, y'all had Eugene Cyclone Hart, and y'all had Benny Briscoe. Y'all had a lot of.
I'm scared of him. I'm scared of him. He knows too much.
Benny Briscoe?
No, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of studying. I study the sport a lot. Okay, so y'all had all these great.
What's the guy Love? The guy Love from California. Something Love.
David Love.
Yeah, David Love was from out of Cali, though. He was.
Yeah, I know. But I'm talking about the group of middleweights.
Let me ask you.
Okay.
Well, David Love beat some of those Philly middleweights. So I think that's why you're bringing him up, because he was able to beat Bobby Watts and Willie Monroe, right? But you had Bobby Watts, Willie Monroe, Eugene Cyclone Hart, Benny Briscoe. You had a lot of great middleweights from out of, if you want to put Buster Douglas father in there too, you could put him in there, right? From the Philly fighters. But out of all these fighters, who was the best of the middleweights from out of Philly? Ever? Who would you go with, man?
You talking about middleweights? Okay, in that middleweight group. Let me see. You gotta put Willie the Worm up there. I was in training camp with him. Bobby Boogaloo was good.
He was.
Bobby Boogaloo, but Marvin Hagler beat both of them once.
He beat them
then
both.
He knocked out
4 of them.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Yeah, but he lost to the Worm one time, right?
Yeah, he did. Absolutely, he sure
did. He lost to Bobby Watts also.
Oh yeah. Okay. So then he came back and knocked him out or something, right?
And Bobby Watts was the one who beat him cleanly.
That's right. Bobby Watts beat him cleanly. Willie the Worm. Some people feel as though he was ripped off in the Willie. No, Bobby Watts was not the one who beat him cleanly, Bruce.
Was it the Worm?
Willie the Worm who beat him cleanly. Bobby the Watts
Willie the Worm
that they felt he got ripped off against. That's what it was.
Because I know
I was in training camp.
I was in 1976. Bobby Watts won a majority decision in 76. A lot of people felt that Hagler won that fight. Willie the Worm Monroe, he's the one who legitly beat Hagler, but Hagler had a cold, and then he turned around on Willie Monroe 2 times after that and beat Monroe twice after Monroe beat him the first time. Mm-hmm. Bobby Watts, he ended up getting him back too. Regardless, Hagler ended up getting those guys back. But I think that Benny Briscoe is that's the guy to me who represents middleweights from out of Philly, because he loved Philadelphia, Benny Briscoe, and he was the one who was closest to probably getting he had more championship shots. He lost twice to Carlos Monzon. He had a shot against Rodrigo Valdez, came up short there. But Benny Briscoe went for a long time, man. And I heard that they love him out in Philly, man. What was your thoughts on Benny Briscoe? Really, that's what I wanted to ask you the whole time.
He was
Benny
the man.
Briscoe, what do you think about him?
He was the man. I think I was there when he fought Marvin Hagler. Did he fight Marvin in Philly, right?
Yes, he did. Yes, sir.
I was there. I was there.
Philly in 1978.
I was there. I was at that fight. My manager, the guy that I was telling you about that I left, my trainer, he took me to the fight. I think he took me to the fights. because you know he had something to do with Boogaloo Watts at one point. But I saw that fight. It was a hell of a fight. But Marvin Hagler was tough, man. He was tough. But that was me new. I was new, and we was at the Spectrum. It was at the Spectrum, and Marvin Hagler was out boxing. He couldn't hurt Benny Briscoe, but
no.
Benny kept coming. Benny kept coming.
Sure
Marvin kept
that's
putting
right.
it on him. Marvin kept putting it on him. He won a decision.
That's right.
I remember that.
Yeah, man. What do you think about Marvin Hagler? Do you have any special memories or interactions that you might have had with Marvin Hagler?
I was in England with him. I was in England with him. We was doing a show. I did like 3 or 4 shows with him, and his wife was with him. She's an Italian lady. And he was really cool with me. You know, he was cool with me. I think that's because I fought people when I didn't back up. I was like him. I fought. Yeah. I didn't care. I get in there. So most of the time when I meet people, they respect that fact that I did fight you. I'll fight you. I didn't back off. And I felt comfortable with him. He sat next to me. He talked to me. We had long conversations and stuff. And his wife was over there, but she was the boss. Let me tell you something. He didn't play around with her. She didn't say too much, but I guess he just like they loved each other. But I'm blessed. I was with him. I was Boogaloo, Willie the Worm. I was with those guys in camp. I was in training camp with Cyclone Hart, Willie the Worm, Boogaloo Watts. I wasn't in camp with him. I was with him, around him all the time. And then I was with Marvin Hagler up in England. And man, you can't ask for nothing better than that. Talking to him, sitting there with him, Sugar Ray Leonard. I was with Tommy Hearns. Man, the list goes on and on. And I think because I fought with Hart, people give a shit. Because we went to an event and I saw Sugar Ray all the way over on the other side. And I seen him looked at me. When he seen me, he stopped what he was doing and walked all the way over to greet me. I felt I felt so good about that. But let me tell you this real quick. One time my girl, I was fighting, who else fighting? I was fighting somebody, and I'm not Quick Tiller's out in the first round. Y'all know that. He went 10 rounds with Tyson, right? So listen, so this what happened. I was in the it was after the fight, and my kid's mother was playing, she was doing on a game in his room. So I was walking looking for her. So I see Sugar Ray behind her. I see Sugar Ray standing behind her. She was playing on this game. And so I walked up behind them, and I was just standing there for like 3 minutes. Then I said, hey, Tammy, what you doing? And Sugar Ray turned around. I said, yeah, what you trying to take my girl from? He said, no, Tim, you know I ain't trying. He didn't know I was standing there. He didn't look like he was doing them, but she nice. She was nice and stuff and nice looking and all that. And I caught him doing it. That was after I knocked Quick Tillers out. In the first round, I caught him with that overhand right.
You knocked out in the first round. You sure did. And then after that, you beat Greg Page right after that. So right after you did your thing with Tillis, you beat Greg Page.
But you see with the Greg Page,
the version of Greg Page that you beat is a different Greg Page than the one in the 90s. You beat Greg Page when he was like still had his feet. You know, he still had his feet because Greg Page. He used to use a lot of footwork early in his career, a lot of bouncing, and sometimes maybe a little unnecessary bouncing. And then as time went on, he kind of went away from the footwork and things like that, man.
He'll come back with that left hook, or he'll come back when he'll walk over this way and come back on you. But I put my hands up when I seen him when he was doing that, I put my hands up. I only got like 5 more minutes on here, okay? I'm gonna cook for my daughter. She ate her pizza. Is that cool?
Bro, you gave me 2.5 hours, man. You gave me more than I
enough.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you to send me a bill, bro. You've been great at it, Tim.
Nah, man. I'm not. No bills here.
This
is cool, man.
Tim, if you want me to come to your show, I'm coming. Just let me know. I'll come to your show and talk boxing with you anytime you want. You just
well, Bruce got the information. Let's keep in touch. Let's keep in touch so we can collaborate, because we collaborate. Bruce, that's my man. We collaborate so many times, and I came on the show because that's my man. Him and his crew. They're really good guys, and you sound like you're a really nice brother. So I wouldn't mind collaborating. I just don't want to be doing 2 hours.
Bro, I wasn't going to stop you.
You were so great, man.
I was not going to stop you, bro. I'm humbled. Everybody out here is humbled, bro.
Oh,
you great fucking guest, man. Blood Boxing, thank you so much for coming here.
Yes,
Mad
sir.
Chad, bro. Thank you so much. George Jakovic.
Mad Chad. Blood, keep it twisted. Mad Chad, nice talking to you again. You probably been drinking.
No, I'm drinking Gatorade. I'm drinking Gatorade and water.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, right.
I told you, drink water.
That's Mad Chad. Mad Chad don't play around, boy. I'm telling you.
For real.
Yeah,
yeah, Mad Chad's off the sauce. Mad Chad's got to cut way down with his weed consumption. He's almost going to be in the
You serious? What's the matter? What's the matter? Oh,
he's smartening up.
No,
let me tell you guys. Let me tell you something really quick that I've been doing, real quick, and then I'm gonna go. Now, I was feeling bad before. I had cramps in my side. I had stuff on my kidneys, in my mouth, like, and my gums were like sore a lot, even though I brushed my teeth. And it was my breathing. I had a lot of mucus in me. And then my mom got this stuff called the Body Healer. It's got I started taking sea moss. I lost like 25 pounds now. But
nice.
That cramp in my side went away. I thought I was going to go to the hospital. I'm telling you. I was going to go to the hospital and get checked out. But I tried this first, and now I don't have that feeling in my side. I'm energetic all the time. And got a lot of energy. You know the stuff you do with girls. That's powerful. No, I'm just telling you. This called the Body Healer.
Hey, thanks for the advice. Shit.
This called the Body Healer, but sea moss will give you the same type of feeling. This stuff got me feeling better. I'm breathing better. I was running 5 on the treadmill. Now I'm running 6 when I take the sea moss and stuff. That sea moss is good. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, I just bookmarked the Body Healer. I found it right here.
Oh, you got the Body Healer. I'm telling you.
I looked it up and found it on the internet. I'll check it out.
Yo, I'm telling you. It's the Body Healer. There's 2 different ones. And I feel, man, I was feeling bad because I was drinking and I was eating a lot of just stuff. And then when I started taking the Body Healer, and my mom, it helped her see, what they call that stuff, COP, where you can't breathe good.
COPD.
Now she can breathe good. Now she can breathe better.
Wow.
Sweet.
I'm telling you, the Body Healer. And now my kid's mom ordered some because I told her, I said, Tammy, I said, my mouth was sore all the time. Man, my side was hurting real bad. I was going to go to the hospital. And then when I took this stuff, 3 weeks after I took it, I started feeling the difference. I started going to sleep right. Everything. I'm telling you, man, that stuff works. And it costs like $49, but sea moss kind of like help you do the same thing. And when I run, I don't be breathing hard. I don't got mucus. I don't spit mucus out that much and everything. That mucus is bad for you.
Yes,
I'm telling you, y'all guys need to try that sea moss. If you can't get the Body Healer, get some sea moss. That stuff works. I'm telling you.
I'm a firm believer in those nutritional supplements, man. Bobby Ches turned me on to one called Pretendum. I've been taking it now for about 6 months.
How you feel?
I feel better than I did before I was taking it. So
is there any sea moss in it?
No. It's got anguidash. It's got different herbs in there. Milk thistle, it's helping with my fucking arthritis, man. You know, it's basala. I got guandadash. You know, Bobby said he was going to get a hip replacement. he started taking this stuff and he put the hip replacement off. He hasn't had the hip replacement. So
wow, that is great. That is great.
Well, man, I believe in these nutritional supplements, especially as we get older. I mean, I want to be around for a little bit more, and I believe these things will help us extend our lives and make the quality. That's the whole fucking thing, bro. Quality of life. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I'll gamble $50 and give it a shot. In fact, I'll give it more than that. I usually give them about 3 or 4 months before I throw the towel in. But I'm a firm believer in those supplements. Hey, Tim, I'm gonna let you go, my brother. Thank you so much, man. God
I love you guys. What's the other brother name?
Blood boxing.
Blood boxing. Yes, okay. Listen, I'm gonna go and cook. She had a slice of pizza, but I'm gonna get her some other stuff. I usually cook like chicken and stuff. Y'all guys, let's do it again another time.
Well,
thanks. And Blood, you pretty good. Blood pretty good, man. That Blood is good.
I'm gonna give Blood your number, champ.
Would you? Okay, good. Right. Okay. All right. Talk to y'all guys later. Thank you.
Peace, man.
All right. Peace. Peace. Talk to you later.
Peace, sir.
Hey, how much fucking cooler does it get than that, bro? Huh?
It don't get no cooler than that, Bruce. And I'd like to thank you so much, big bro, for giving me an opportunity to talk to Tim Witherspoon. I really appreciate it, Bruce. Thanks a lot again, man.
Thank you for spicing it up, man. I don't know where George Zakovic went, my brother, man. George is my co-host over here with Mad Chad. G5 usually comes in on Tuesday nights. We keep it to the panel that we have. And I'm glad you joined us, Blood. Oh, yeah. Anytime you want to come in here, man.
Philly the Philly connection, though, that was huge.
Yeah,
that's right up his alley.
It was really fun, man, talking to Tim Witherspoon, another legend, man. I read so much about these guys, and I do documentaries on them and stuff like that. I just got so much love for these old fighters, man, because they went through so much, and they basically paved the way for what we got now. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to take the hits, but Tim Witherspoon, he's still here with us. He talks great, speaks very well, and I'm looking forward to many more interactions with Tim Witherspoon and both you and Chad too. I've been knowing you guys for a couple of years now, and I'm glad that I'm here interacting with you guys, man. You guys, man, I'm just a blessing to have you guys, you older guys in the boxing community. It's really a blessing, man.
Oh yeah. And we could talk to an old fucking head, an old fucking 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, bro. That's like the fucking president of the United States. That's bigger than the president of the United States in my books, man.
Yeah, for us.
Fucking 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. Woo.
Hey, he told me I had boxing knowledge too.
I'll tell you, man.
It'd be like if we had Kevin Mccall.
He said I was good. I knew I was good.
He liked you a lot, Blood. He liked you a lot. He's still thinking I'm a drunk because I don't like Fury.
But he did Mad Chad. As soon as I mentioned Mad Chad, I saw him right up. He remembered you, bro.
Yeah, he definitely don't forget Mad Chad.
Tim's awesome, man. Wow, that's a blessing right there to have him on the anniversary of Hagler Minter. You know what I mean? That's just a blessing.
And you know something, man? I am gonna fucking show that fight because this is what I was gonna do originally.
It's over quick. It's fucking
exactly. It's over quick. We can show this fight, man.
Yeah. They're off the bat. I gotta brush my teeth, say my prayers. You know what I mean? But Bruce, what a fun night, man. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Blood. It was fun. Yes, what a fun night, especially with Tim. We had terrible Tim. We had fucking champ here.
All right, man. This is 42 years ago tonight.
Wembley Stadium.
12,000 people sold out. Fucking Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who's coming off. He's had a few fights. He fought a draw with Vito Antifermo, and then his next fight he fought Lucif Hamani. I remember that fight, man. Hamani was a French contender from Algeria, possibly. I'm not sure, but I know he was foreign. Hagler went right through him, destroyed him. And he went on. He had those fights with Bobby Watts and who the hell else was it up in Portland, Maine? He had back-to-back fights up there, and then he got his fight with Alan Minter, and a lot of racial overtones.
He had one in Providence, Rhode Island, I think, Bruce. Before that, in Providence, maybe.
No, I think it was two in Portland, and then he fought Marcus Geraldo, I believe, in Las Vegas. But then it was But then it was over to England. A lot of racial overtones in this fight. Alan Minter said that Hagler wouldn't shake his hand at the Antifermo fight because he said that Hagler said, "I don't touch white flesh." And I've shaken hands with Marvin Hagler, bro. I mean, fucking Hagler was in bed with the Petronelli brothers, for Christ's sakes. There, you look at everybody who's hugging Marvin Hagler at the end of this fight, who's saving him from those bottles, and they were all white. I mean,
I heard another story on that. That they said that Kevin Finnegan was the one who came up with the story. I don't touch white. It was very rude to him. So it didn't have anything to do with Hagler. Now, I don't think that Hagler said that he won't shake white flesh. I doubt that very seriously.
I shook his hand on 3 different occasions, and
there you go.
And bro, and he was always with white people, brown people, black people. I mean, he was there.
Heard him.
Oh well, like I told you about I seen him sparring, and he beat the shit out of his sparring partners. I tell you, blood was splattered on my shirt. What the fuck was his name? My mind just went blank.
I know about him through research. I don't remember him though. Let me take that back. I just know about him through research.
Rhode Island always rides on a fighter. I mean, we love boxing, and there's always one standout. And for a while, it was Dino Dennis until he got in the ring with fucking George Foreman. And for a while it was Vinny Paz. We rode with him for a long time. And Hagler, I mean, Hagler was the man from New England. Everybody called him their hometown fighter. I don't care if they were from Rhode Island, Maine, Massachusetts.
Right.
I like Vinny Paz, but he was a bit of an asshole. And then him and Greg Haugen, their wars were fucking legendary. Pazienza and Greg Haugen. What was up with them 2 guys? Them 2 guys hated each other, man.
They still do. They still do to this day.
I know they do. But you know what? It's more Greg Haugen now than Pazienza.
Nah, referee's usually the solo judge. I've seen so many fights in Europe where the referee just lifts the guy's hand up, and the bell rings. Well, yeah, man, fucking Marvin Hagler just ate this fucking guy alive in this fight. I remember watching this fight, sitting right where I'm sitting, not on the same couch, obviously. But
and Minter was a killer too. I mean, like literally, he was a killer.
Right, he killed the guy.
He destroyed Jacopucci. And you know what Minter liked to do a lot? Minter liked to hold his opponents and hit. He liked to hold and hit. And he'll hit these guys with hard shots too. When he's holding and hitting, he would hit these guys hard, and he had a real killer instinct, Minter. If you didn't have the killer instinct to match his intensity, you were done. Minter would chew you up and spit you out if you didn't have a killer instinct to match his intensity. I watch so much. I watch everything that YouTube has to offer in Minter. I watch them very close.
Yeah, he looks like he has the style that could give Hagler trouble if he used that stand-up, straight-ahead European-style boxing. Use that fucking jab. He's got a nice fight. Was he a southpaw, too?
Petronelli brothers. And there you go again. Once again, the Petronelli brothers, good people looking out for him. They were willing to cover up and take some shots for Hagler. The Petronelli brothers. And they're older guys at this time.
Fucking bottle of beer will kill you.
And they're trying to protect their boy Hagler, aren't they?
Yep.
The Petronellis, huh? They're trying to protect their boy Hagler. That's for sure. They'll take that glass before Hagler.
Yep.
Those guys really had a lot of love for Hagler. They looked out for him, man.
And I heard somebody saying today, I'm talking about the belts, how when you're stripped of a belt, you should return the belt. And I'm like, no, you win that belt and that's yours. Like Hagler, he didn't get that ceremony in the ring where he'd get the 2 belts from Minter, but he'd give them back to Minter when he got to the dressing room, and they didn't even go through that ceremony. But somebody was trying to tell me today where, oh no, they have to give those belts back if they get stripped. I'm like, no, those belts are they're trinkets. They make those things on an assembly line.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Larry Holmes used to complain about. He used to say, "Just another plastic belt."
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And now it's even worse. Now it's even worse. Now it's
he was ahead of his time. He was like a prophet. Larry was a prophet when he threw that fucker in the trash.
Damn! Look at that! Look at that blood going right through that fucking terry cloth towel.
Oh yeah, he's leaking.
Minter had looked good against some very good opponents. Sugar Ray Seals, he beat him too. He beat quite a bit quite a bit of pretty good fighters, man. Finnegan too. People underrate Finnegan. Kevin Finnegan and his brother Chris Finnegan were very good fighters. Chris Finnegan fought Bob Foster, and it was fight of the year when they fought.
Yeah, they were.
Hey, Bruce, good night. Good night, everybody. I'm hitting the hay, man. What a night, man. What a fun day. What a fun night. Bruce, I'll talk to you soon. Blood, I'll see you around for sure, man.
Okay.
Shout out to Ted.
Hey, it was fun being at your channel today, man, Chad.
God,
Thanks for bringing me in, man.
That's fun shit, man. It's always fun just shooting the shit, fellas, honestly. God bless, man. Brush your teeth, say your prayers, and I'll talk soon, fellas. Good night.
Okay.
Salute, Matt Chad. Yeah, that was a hell of a fight, and I got on here originally just to pay tribute to Marvin Hagler, just to celebrate that anniversary, man. You know that the day in boxing, and I get surprised by Tim over here, and Blood. It was fucking dynamite show. I'm on fucking cloud 9. I'm gonna have to bring the dog for a little walk, smoke a few more of these bongs, and maybe see what else is happening over here on YouTube.
This is one that I could enjoy too, and put on my playlist and listen to it again, man. Just the fact that I get to talk to Tim Weatherspoon, and it's always a pleasure to talk to an old school guy, an old school participant in boxing, man.
Oh, bro, and
always a real honor, man.
And he's so open too, bro. Tim is such an open fucking dude. He you can tell he holds nothing back. He'll think for a minute. He'll say, let me say how I want to say this, and then he'll just fucking go on, and then he apologizes to us for him speaking. And I'm like, bro, that's what you're here for. Keep going. But anyway, Blood, thank you so much for coming on here, man.
No problem, man. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, man.
I'll see you around, my brother. And everybody out there, man, Bruce Gas out of here, man. Thanks for coming around here, man. God bless and peace.
Peace, Bill.